Tonight, an Expedition Everest 15th anniversary shirt was released at Animal Kingdom, as well as a 13th anniversary of the Yeti breaking its back brace. Park pass reservations for the next week at Walt Disney World are full, as the parks will be at full capacity. If only there were finished rides, closed restaurants, and distance entertainment that could be brought back to add capacity to the park. If only.
If only.
The Walt Disney Company, its shares reached a new high as Disney executives reached a new low. You've read WDW News Today. Now it's time for WDW News Tonight.
It's time for WDW News Tonight. I don't know what that was, with Tom Corliss and Nick Cicero. Tonight, March Madness continues. We debate more ride vehicles. We also have some bad March Madness ideas that didn't quite make the cut. Also, psychotic comments and much more. Now, here's your host, Tom Corliss.
Finally almost messed up. He almost messed up.
I know.
We almost got it.
On the letters involved in our name. WDW.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Tom Corliss, and welcome to a touch, taste, smell, and grabbing of WDW News Tonight. I don't. It's a callback.
Yes,
Thanks.
it is.
What'd you say?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us tonight. Please hit the like button if you haven't. Please subscribe for more genuine content and, of course, the occasional psychotic nonsense like this program. Nick, how's it going?
Good, good. I'm just hanging in there.
Hanging in there?
Yeah.
Something happened?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I'm doing fine. Doing good.
Okay.
Hanging in there.
Do you know it was,
not much happened this week?
It was a year ago on this show. It was March
Yeah.
12th, but this show a year ago
Yeah.
that we had to come on and tell people that Disneyland, Disney World, and Disneyland Paris were closing on over the weekend.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was the weekend right before you and I were at Busch Gardens.
It would have been the Saturday after, yeah.
So yeah, and seeing it all happen, you know, the washing down of the ride vehicles and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I look back on it because we weren't wearing masks, right? At
No
that
one
point,
was doing the
there was
massing
no
yet, but the
distancing.
today was the first day of hand washing stations at Disney World a year ago.
Okay,
So
yeah.
those showed up a year ago today, and then when we went to Busch Gardens on Saturday,
Yeah.
they were everywhere, and that's all everyone was doing. Every time you
Yeah.
touched anything, people went to hand washing stations. Yeah.
And we knew that was like the last weekend of freedom, right? Like
Yeah.
we're gonna be inside for
For
quite
2
some time.
weeks.
Yeah, right.
It's
For
over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that's. But I remember saying at the time I was like, it's going to be more than 2 weeks. I didn't think it'd be as long as it was,
Yeah.
but I definitely think 2 weeks felt short at the time.
Oh boy.
But yeah, it was a year ago. So anyway, just thought it was a fun thing to mention. It was Thursday.
Yeah.
We were in the studio. We were getting ready
Yeah.
to start. It was just moments before we went on the air. In fact, so yeah. But let's get rolling. We got a lot of show tonight. Now the news. Brought to you by the WDWNT Interglobe Society. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure will open October 1st, 2021 at Epcot.
I don't like this.
Already.
Poor Walt Disney World, it was supposed to get a PS5 for its birthday, and now it's getting a Tiger Electronics portable game.
Tiger.
You remember those,
Yeah,
right?
I loved them.
Yeah.
Oh man, those are great.
Pass holders devoured park passes for October 1st after the announcement. Epcot will really be the park you want to be at on that day. I can't think of another one I'd want to be in on October 1st, 2021. That's the heart of the 50th anniversary
Heart and
celebration at Walt Disney World, Epcot.
With a rat.
Yeah. The magic of limited possibilities awaits. Rooms were revealed for the Grand Moana Tower at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort last week. Do we have graphics or no? You forgot about it? She completely I was like, they're not up there for the Ratatouille story. I was like, maybe you're just skipping them for this one. Oh, look at that. There you go. She's so embarrassed.
Started at the Moana story. That's why I
Oh,
got
okay.
thrown off.
That's what I figured, but then I read the first joke and you were just sitting there. Rooms are revealed for the Grand Moana Tower at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort last week. Who's ready to pay $600 a night for wall decals? Man, I really feel like I'm in Hawaii. The waves hitting the shore, the tropical breeze, the brain-dead chicken near the coffee maker. Just really Feels like I'm there. Construction on the Disney Springs Brightline station is expected to begin 5 years from now. Disney's Magical Express ends January 1st, 2022, by the way. That's it. That's the joke. The joke is that in less than a year, Magical Express ends, and in four years after that, you might have a train. Yeah. With spring break crowds starting to descend on the Walt Disney World property, Disney has begun seating every row on the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. In fact, according to CEO Bob Chapek, any and all mining efforts must be doubled immediately in preparations for the next earnings call. Dig and dig and dig. John Smith. Some of you may recall that an Osprey, famously built repeatedly, were building their nest day in and day out atop Universal's Jurassic World Velocicoaster. Well, another Osprey recently began trying to build a nest on top of the canopy for Tron Light Cycle Run at the Magic Kingdom. Yeah, it quickly left when it was informed by Disney how much the nightly cost was for theme park view. No. What is that?
This Osprey, it took my glasses. I can't see it. I think it's using them to build a nest. I guess.
You can no. You can't. I'm not a bird expert, but I believe that's illegal. You can't touch the Osprey nest. I think you have to leave your glasses there. I think your glasses belong to the Osprey now.
Oh, come on. It's the sixth pair I lost this year already.
The sixth pair this year? What happened to the other 5 pairs?
Well, let's see. Blizzard Beach just opened this past weekend, so, that was a couple right there. I mean, you know how it goes.
You know. What is the Osprey doing now? Oh, boy.
You know what?
Wow, the Osprey.
Wow,
the Osprey's really fast. Look how big that nest got.
That's impressive. You could have them. I mean, I'm impressed.
Well, that Osprey works faster than a Disney construction crew.
All right, well, good for you, buddy.
Yeah. All right, Osprey, I need you to be quiet now.
I don't need to see.
It's just the beginning of the monologue.
I only need to listen to the jokes.
You just leave them off the whole show. There's not really anything we do anyway. Later in the week, an American flag was purposefully placed atop the canopy of Tron Light Cycle Run. This topping off tradition signifies that vertical construction has reached its highest point. This will also be used to differentiate the ride from the version at Shanghai Disneyland, where the highest point, of course, is marked off with the presence of a sniper. He's very noisy,
He certainly is.
Osprey. Yeah. No? Okay. Fun. Peter Pan. Quiet down, Osprey. Peter Pan's flight continues to undergo an exterior refresh in preparation for the 50th anniversary. This is in addition to the new immersive queue through a shuttered seafood restaurant. And in case you didn't know, Arthur Treacher was a lost boy. I don't know if anyone knew that or not. The Big Al's merchandise kiosk in Frontierland at the Magic Kingdom now has a new sign. Did we show that? We have the new sign? The new Big Al sign? There it is. Still, though, only sells 3 items. A coonskin cap, a sunscreen, and soda. That's the whole assortment at Stinky Pete's. The struggles of Restaurant Marrakesh and the Morocco Pavilion have been well documented on this program and our other shows. Despite the restaurant changing hands with Disney ownership, the restaurant is still closed, and they've now removed menus from the front of the restaurant. Disney executives were disappointed that the restaurant closed before they had a chance to run it into the ground themselves.
Nah.
No? All right. What does the Osprey think of that? Did the Osprey like that, Joe?
Oh, what the heck, Osprey? It's not even the right prescription for you.
Very distinguished. Maybe the Osprey can read the ads. A new dress was released the other day for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. The dress features images of numerous characters from the attraction. It sells for $128. It's available in sizes up to plus 3X for those who might be a little chubby. Character meet and greets, as we once knew them, are no longer available at Walt Disney World, but characters are now having physically distanced picnics at Disney's Hollywood Studios. In fact, Chip and Dale were setting up a blanket. Goofy can be found on the Hyperion Theater, and Donald is found fumigating for pests. A fun fact, Donald is really spraying bugs as that position was eliminated from Walt Disney World. They don't have, yeah. Well, with the value resorts closed, there wasn't a huge need for fumigation. Disney's Hollywood Studios has a new peanut butter chocolate milkshake. It's available on Sunset Boulevard at Hollywood Scoops. And being as though it's the longest running thing at Hollywood Studios already, it's now the new park icon. There it is. One of the, still 9 to 7 though, for the milkshake park. So, yeah. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror attraction billboard on World Drive is finally moving once again. The rocking elevator on the sign has always been a problem, as it's powered by a jet engine and is very complicated to fix given the intricateness of the billboard.
Wow.
What is the Osprey doing now? The Osprey reading to the orange bird?
I think so. It's too cute. I don't even want my glasses back. That's just adorable. Is that a good breed? Yeah.
And then Steve Jobs said, "This hotel looks like crap." And Bob Iger was like, "Well, it's for the poor people." That's a real thing that's in that book, by the way. There's a new collection from Dooney and Burke that'll make you say oodalali. It's the Artist Series collection featuring characters from Robin Hood. Yeah, nothing says steal from the rich and give to the poor like Disney, Dooney, and Burke purses. Man, really helping out the needy. After over a year of closure, the theme parks of Disneyland Resort are set to reopen under California's revised guidelines in late April 2021. Bob Chapek announced that Disney is planning for that late April reopening of both Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventure. They would reopen earlier, but they're getting $75 a person to only operate restaurants, so they're going to ride that out first. See how that goes. The Disney Tales Pet Collection produced a new litter of products at Disneyland Resort. There are now 101 Dalmatians pet spirit jerseys available. What? Yeah, I guess Cruella finally got them. Damn. Poor thing. Oh. Disneyland Paris has begun construction on a large berm surrounding the area of what is anticipated to be a new theme park they are required to build by 2036, which is also the tentative opening date for Tron Light Cycle Run at the Magic Kingdom. It's been over 3 years since Disney officially announced plans to expand and refurbish the Disney Village at Disneyland Paris. Since then, details have been kept relatively quiet as to what that may entail, but thanks to our friends at Outside Ears, we got to look at the possible master plan for the overhaul of the shopping, dining, and entertainment district. Many elements developed by legendary architect Frank Gehry, including the stainless steel columns, will be removed, while the facades on the northern end would be rebuilt to give the impression of a less linear street, similar to Disney Springs at Walt Disney World. That's right, so get ready for Les Sprinkles. Les Sprinkles. Le Galactic Outpost. There is a Le Galactic. Well, the other sign went on fire, so you might as well put down Le Galactic Outpost. And Le Lefties.
Lefties.
Get your left-handed French bear. Left-handed Eiffel Tower. All your left-handed needs.
So good.
Also similar to Disney's. Was that better or worse than Le Jingle Bell, Le Jingle Bam? I don't know.
Worse.
Worse, okay. Also similar to Disney Springs, Planet Hollywood would undergo a substantial makeover. You know, they had a really hard time getting that pool cover over our Planet Hollywood. Are they really going to do that again? Put a big silver pool cover over the whole thing? Yeah. As part of a third phase, the Disney Event Arena tent would be replaced by a new Disney hotel. That's good to hear. There's a real shortage of rooms at Disneyland Paris, and they've always been able to fill all the resorts with guests. They really need another hotel at
space,
Disneyland.
yeah.
Right, Axel? Just always full. Never enough room. During the 2021 annual meeting of shareholders, Disney CEO Bob Chapek, and definitely human, answered a question about the Disney College program, which was temporarily suspended last year, stating that there was no specific date set to resume the program. Yeah, wait until Bob finds out how Disney can take advantage of these kids. A specific date will appear faster than you could say labor camp. Also, during the 2021 shareholder meeting, Disney Executive Chairman Bob Iger confirmed that he will leave the company on December 31st, at which time he will hand Bob Chapek the official Bob name tag and maybe let him eat at the adult table on Thanksgiving. I want a color, though. It's green like money. Since its launch in November of 2019, Disney Plus has become very popular. It's now officially surpassed 100 million subscribers. Yet still, not a single one of them has watched Flora and Ulysses. No one, you didn't watch it, right? No one, I think it's, I don't even think it's really there.
It's probably
I
not.
think it's just a PNG.
You hit play and nothing
It's nothing
happens.
there.
Yeah.
It's like, and then it just pretends there's an error. It's like no one's gonna. They're just making up content. This and like, what was the movie with the oh man, I'm blanking on this movie now. Josh Gad was in it. No one watched it.
Man.
Not
No.
Beauty and the Beast. People watched that. It was supposed to come out in theaters, then it didn't.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm sure the chat's already saying it. I can't think of it. Is the chat saying it? Do we know what? I don't know what it is. We're going to move on. Artemis Fowl. Artemis. I don't think Artemis Fowl is real either. That image was not related to Artemis Fowl. Was not related to Artemis Fowl. In tandem with the yeah, you can do it now. In tandem with the Japanese government's extension of the state of emergency through March 21st, the Oriental Land Company has announced that Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea will continue to operate at a capacity of 5,000 guests daily through that time. Or as Walt Disney Studios Paris would call it, a holiday weekend. Is very busy. Last week, it's very busy. Crushes coaster 5 hours. It's only 100 people in line. Last week reported that Disney will be closing at least 20% of its physical stores as the company shifts its focus to e-commerce. The store locator on shopdisney.com can now show you which stores will be closing. So far, it looks like store 404 Error will be the only store impacted. I believe 404 is Atlanta. I think that's
so good.
Store 404. That's the news. Who brings us the news?
This program and many more are brought to you by WIGS, the WDWNT Interglobe Society. Support WDWNT to get early and exclusive access to content you can't find anywhere else, including exclusive post shows for WDW News Tonight and Park Center each week, exclusive programs detailed and ride rehab watches, access to our Discord community, and much more starting at just $2 a month. For more information, go to patreon.com/WDWNT or visit WDWNT.com and click the Patreon link. Join WIGS and help make this and other shows happen.
Help support the Osprey and other endangered theme park birds by joining the WIGS program. $1 of every WIGS membership goes to the preservation of fake birds.
You guys. Glad
Actually,
you got
thank
a
you to our
big
WIGS
nest.
members for allowing us to have a budget to buy a bunch of nests this week. So thank you. Thank you very much. Some important WIGS notes. Number one, I believe a new episode of Detailed just went out a couple days ago. So those of you at the $7 level can watch that. Also, if you're not already at the $7 level, do note that the post show for WDW News Tonight will move to the $7 level starting on April 1st. And no, it's not an April Fool's joke. It's a real thing. So if you need to upgrade, make sure you do it before then. But those of you who are at any level will be able to enjoy the post show tonight. And tonight on our post show, we will start our WIGS exclusive March Madness tournament. But on the show tonight, we still have a lot more to come. We have a Carousel Products item to release this evening, bad March Madness ideas, and of course, the full conclusion of our ride vehicle tournament. All that and more coming your way. Stick around for more tonight.
In an effort to streamline the theme park experience, we at Disney are unveiling a new version of the Walt Disney World Vacation. Faster, more efficient, perfect for those with limited days off. It's Disney's Park Express service. A trackless ride vehicle will pick you up at Orlando International Airport. Just stow your luggage where we would usually put a droid. Your transport will then whisk you down I-4, past our beautifully repainted arches to the Walt Disney World Resort. Your vehicle will use a priority access lane to go through temperature checks and security before taking you inside each park. At each park, the unthemed personal conveyance holding acceptable rich guests express, or UPCHARGE for short, will skip ahead of ride vehicles at our most popular attractions, taking you through all of the park's experiences in record time.
We rode everything in the Magic Kingdom in 45 minutes. It turns out the time you actually spend on rides in a given day doesn't amount to much.
Upon arrival at your second park, the upcharge can break in half, with the front half pulling up to the urinals, while the back of the car pulls into bathroom stalls. You might want to seat the misses in the back. Then, it's a quick breeze through all 3 rides at Epcot. Following your second park, a Hollywood Brown Derby meal will be served on board as you travel beneath the Skyliner path to Hollywood Studios. Then, it's time for all the rides in Hollywood Studios in under 15 minutes. Sadly, the upcharge doesn't have spring action shooters for Toy Story Mania, but you can just pretend to sling webs with Tom Holland instead. Last but not least, the experience ends at Disney's Animal Kingdom, culminating in a trip on Expedition Everest. On the trip home, the upcharge will drop you off at the World of Disney store to shop, and you can grab a bite at Disney Springs.
Okay, but how do we get home?
That's your own problem. Disney's Park Express service begins at just $3,999.95 per guest. You can also upgrade to Park Express Plus, which gets you through all of the rides at double the intended speed. Walt Disney World Resort.
Money, please. Money, please.
Up everything.
It's been J-Pack all along.
Who's been pulling every evil string?
It's been J-Pack all along.
He's unscrupulous, full of ruthlessness,
That you haven't even noticed, and a pity is. To fix anything now that everything has gone wrong. Thanks to J-Pack, naughty J-Pack.
It's been J-Pack all along. And I killed the great movie ride.
is where the early planning is taking place for our so-called Disney World project.
It is a showplace dedicated to entertain, we hope, with a purpose.
The biggest celebration Walt Disney World has ever seen. Its 50th anniversary.
Only 204 days until a ride from Paris opens at Epcot. It's a very exciting time from there. Very exciting time. What's happening this week on Disney Plus other than Chapek all along? This week on Disney Plus, Tom and the Last Physical Show Scene. This week on Disney Plus, Tom fights for physical show scenes across a barren wasteland during its 50th anniversary. So Carousel Products. This is not available, sadly.
Boo.
I'm sorry, everyone. Not the harmonious sport.
It's the Osprey. Oh.
No, please don't. That's what we'll do. We'll just go on Amazon and buy 500 of those Ospreys and then resell them at $5 more, right? News Tonight Osprey plush.
Sell all their old
News
props
Tonight
on Carousel Products.
So since November, we've been doing cast member pantry benefit shirts. Of course, the cast member pantry is a great organization that's made sure out-of-work cast members in Orlando and Anaheim have been able to put food on their table. So we've done a number of, obviously we did the big benefit. In November, we raised over $50,000 for them. But in addition, we've also been selling shirts that where all the proceeds go to cast member pantry. We've done 3 of them so far, and the colors kind of represent the parks of Walt Disney World so far. So this is the 4th and final of the cast member pantry benefit t-shirts. It is available now. Of course, on the front, it has the Walt quote. You can design and create and build the most wonderful place in the world, but it takes people to make the dream a reality. Walt Disney. On the back, cast members are the magic, and we did it in green to represent the 4th park at Walt Disney World, Animal Kingdom. So this is it. This is the 4th and final, and again, we only did 300 of them. So once they're gone, this is the last chance to own this shirt. It's been a really fun, cool thing to do. And we might do a different design next time, but we know a lot of people kept complaining that they kept missing the release of these, so we kept making them. Yeah. But this is it. This is 4th and final. So make sure you go right now if you plan on getting it. Again, full proceeds. We don't collect a single cent of the money spent on these. But while you're over there shopping, I do recommend that you also purchase something, that we make that does support WDWNT too. I think that would be nice also. We have all that great California Adventure, 20 years of adventure in California merchandise for sale. Anyway. Okay, so every year, and especially our WIGS members are going to know, every year there is a lot of debate as to what is going to be the March Madness tournament.
Yeah, it gets heated.
Every year, yeah, and usually on the WIGS show, like starting the post show starting like a month before, people start asking, what's March Madness this year? And literally, I'll just say on the show, I have no idea. And so people will pitch ideas and eventually we'll land on one, but obviously there are a lot of ideas for tournaments we could do on the show that don't make it. They're just not up to snuff. They're not as good of an idea as ride vehicles. I mean, the verdict's still out on that one. Or backstories, which the verdict will really be out on.
It'll be interesting.
Next week. So we thought we would share a couple of ideas that were pitched for March Madness this year that didn't happen. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. What's the first one we have? The best baby changing station. What do we have there? We have top of trash can, Epcot festival tables, the Peter Pan queue. Yeah. It's a Small World boat. All good places to change a baby. I don't know what would have won. What's the next one? Best smelling bus. The Magical Express, the resort bus, the empty resort bus, or maybe what I think would have won, the Matchbox Disney Parks toy bus.
These really stink so far.
Yeah. Next one. The best soon-to-be canceled character. Who's next? Look out!
Oh my! Watch out, LeFou.
Can we just cancel LeFou's brew? Can that be
please.
canceled? That'd be fine. Next one. Bob Chapek's biggest accomplishments.
Pretending to be human. Sorry, Bob. We can see right through you.
He's got that one pose, right? He does the arms open. Like, this is all he's got.
Yeah.
Is this thing.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, anyway.
Oh.
Next one. Best place to feel up wishables. The Emporium, the cash register,
Hey!
the far corner of Big Top Souvenirs. Oh, you were laughing too hard. I didn't think you didn't even see it yet.
I did.
Or Nick's Van, which would have been the favorite. That was a 1 seed. Nick's Van. Yes. Next one. The best non-pool swimming spots at Walt Disney World. The seas, the manatee, yeah. He never fixed that. It's still spelled manatee. Manatee. That's the t-shirt we're gonna sell. That's in the March Tragic market, the manatee. It's a shirt just all gray with a manatee face. Actually, SeaWorld probably sells that. Probably. Next one. Disney's greatest PR lies. Toy Story Marionette Show, Unplanned Downtime, Stitch will reopen. That I'm mean? I'm probably mean. All right. Best place to scream about not wanting to wear a mask. No one at Imagination would probably even know. No one else there.
Nobody can hear you, Space Mountain.
Yeah. There more? There more of these? Best value resort. None of the above would have been real hard to beat. Real hard to beat. You got another? Best places to get stuck on Disney transportation. World Drive, high in the air. On a lagoon with the Stargate?
Yeah.
Or a monorail station, perhaps. That's it. Those were the ones that didn't make it this year. But you know what? We got to get to the real thing now. It's time for March Madness.
Yeah.
Let's begin. Cue the intro. Nope. All right. It was the same as last week. You're supposed to load it in again.
Oh.
Wow. Nope. Okay. You don't have it? Well, that's not very exciting now. So, I guess we'll do this.
I'm excited.
Nick, sing something. I don't know.
Do.
There it is. All right, let's bring on the distinguished panel. Of course, there's Nick and myself, and the Osprey's filling in for Eric Morton this week. The Osprey has some strong opinions on roller coasters, so I think the Osprey's going to go all coasters. Anyway, Axel here in the backstage area. There's Axel.
I'm glad you know my name. Before it was the Paris clone. Now I'm Axel. Thank you.
Paris clone. Oh.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me where you said
Wow.
Paris clone. Sorry.
I mean, you also have a projection dome.
Oh.
There you go.
Who's laughing? Was that Jason?
Jason.
How can you mistake that laugh?
Jason, who has no dome at all.
dome.
Sure.
He's also a projection dome. Allison's here as well.
I am here. Hello.
Hello, Allison. At home, we have Eric Morton. Hopefully his voice is holding on.
Hello?
You doing all right?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Just making sure you're doing all right. We have Marcy Smith.
Hello.
Hello. And Jason Diffendall.
Hey, howdy, hey.
There you go. Okay, so do we need to go over the rules again? Yes. He's like, yes.
We should.
Do you want to do it? You can do it.
Well, sure. So.
Okay. He's going to do it.
Yeah, I can do it. I can do it off the top of my head. People can call in as long as you're registered to vote. We have the phone number. We want to put that up for everybody. So remember, if you're registered, only if you're registered, you have your registration code, can you call in to sway our votes tonight? Now, important to remember, we're going to do multiple rounds tonight. What do we have? 3 rounds tonight? Is it 3 or 4?
I think it's
with
more.
the final
The
round.
round of 32,
five.
the round
Five
of 16,
rounds tonight.
round of 8, round of 4, and the championship match.
Now remember, you can only call in once, so use your vote wisely,
Yes.
strategically in the round that it makes sense for you to call in and give your vote. You only have one tonight. Once you call in, give your code. That's it. You're locked in for the night. So
Very serious about this.
that's it. Yeah.
There's like nest particles.
Oh yeah. So these birds are messy. It's like Nick eating cupcakes or donuts or
You were able to get your
pretzels.
glasses back, though.
I did, but he wasn't looking. He was busy with Chubby, and I reached in there and got him.
Well, all right. No comment. So anyway, thank you for explaining the call-in. The way it works otherwise, we have a panel of 7 of us.
Seven?
Yeah, 7. And everyone's vote is worth 5 points. And so the votes at home, as you said, are worth 2 points. So it's important to watch and see how the voting goes to know if you have a good chance of swaying things or not, and try and strategize as to when you should make that phone call. That makes sense.
It's getting real this week.
Again, that's the one thing I like about it being shorter this year is you really have to figure out what you want to do this week, right? Because you get a lot of matchups for any of your teams.
Big prizes on the line.
A lot of core bucks.
A
lot of core bucks on there. A lot of Osprey. Everyone, top 16 teams get a Osprey plush. That's what we're doing this year. All right, let's get started. What's the first matchup? We have the brackets. Show people the brackets first. See the brackets. Oh yeah, we can read that.
Oh.
Zoom.
Ooh.
There we go. All right, so the first matchup is going to be the Nautilus from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea versus the horse-drawn trolley or streetcar from Main Street, USA at the Magic Kingdom. Marcy, why don't you start us off?
Okay, so I've actually been thinking about this a lot, like what this all means and everything. So I was thinking to myself, for me, since it's just about the ride vehicle, I'm just going to look at the ride vehicle and think, okay, by itself, is this, the way it looks, what it does, is it iconic, etc. So even though I personally would choose the trolley because that's what I love and that's what I would ride, I'm going to have to choose the Nautilus because as a ride vehicle, it's just incredibly cool to be a submarine. You can't really beat it.
Jason?
This is a tough one for me because they're both at Epcot, or neither are at Epcot. But
you're not even
I've
at
got to
Epcot.
go with the Nautilus.
That's true.
I'm not even at Epcot. I've got to go with the Nautilus because I have a Nautilus seat.
Okay.
I mean,
Eric.
That's it.
The Nautilus is unique. It's iconic, and this would be an easy victory for the Nautilus, I think.
Allison?
The trolley is so charming, so it's sad to vote against it, but I have to go with the Nautilus.
But it's also up against the Nautilus.
But yeah, that's the thing. So my vote is for the Nautilus.
Axel?
I already said last week that was against animal cruelty. That was until this guy from PETA rang my door. So I'm going to go with the trolley because now all of a sudden I like a horse being like, pull me down Main Street.
Oh, okay. Nick?
Yeah, it has to be Nautilus. They're both very dynamic in their space and add a lot and fit in really well, but like, there's something about the Nautilus. That's a beautiful machine right there.
I mean, the Nautilus is probably, in the history of film, like one of the most iconic vehicle designs ever. Harper Goff did a beautiful job, and then they literally just translated the look of that submarine to real life, which that was really one of the first times they did that, right? Like now we take that for granted because you build all these immersive lands, right? But sometimes the ride vehicles didn't always look like they were right out of the movie, right? Like Snow White, that didn't really look like a mine car from the movie. Peter Pan didn't really have small 2-passenger boats flying around, right? Yeah. But 20,000 Leagues legitimately had a Nautilus that looked to the human eye like the right scale, right? I think that it's a hard one to beat. Nautilus, absolutely. So what is that, 30-5? I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nautilus. All right, next matchup. What do we got? The Living with the Land boat versus the world-famous Jungle Cruise. Allison made a noise, so Allison gets to go first.
Well, I have, so what's funny is that I have a Jungle Cruise dress at home that I was thinking about wearing, but it doesn't have the ride vehicle on it, and that's kind of where I wanted to go. I wanted to have something that was the ride, the Jungle Cruise ride vehicle, but I did find these Titanic earrings, so that's kind of, they're really close. So I decided to wear those. They're kind of, they're close enough.
My heart will go.
But with that being said, my vote is for the Jungle Cruise vehicle.
Axel?
Oh, in this case, I'm going to take the ride that is politically correct. And I hate how the tomatoes are so blown up. And no, I'm going to go with the Jungle Cruise.
Wait, I didn't understand anything you just said. What happened?
Some of the tomatoes can be like really racist, and I've seen them interact with our bananas, and I really don't like it. I think they should move the tomatoes away, get more pumpkins in, because everybody feels a pumpkin lady from time to time.
Attack of the racist tomatoes.
So, Jungle Cruise it is.
Nick?
I have to say that I just got a great visual. I'd love to see the Leo and Kate Titanic scene on either boat. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
But I'm going to have to go with the Jungle Cruise.
But she floats away on a tomato. A Mickey-shaped pumpkin. He leaves her on a Mickey-shaped pumpkin. That or those shaking tables.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What did you pick?
Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, I'm picking Jungle Cruise as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Living with the Land, but I mean, it's the Jungle Cruise boat. It is the star of the whole attraction. Yeah. Jason?
I'm going to have to go with the Living with the Land boat. Because
it's an Epcot.
That's right.
Eric?
In the interest of time, Jungle Cruise.
And Marcy?
Yeah, Jungle Cruise for sure.
That wasn't close either. That's another 30-5. Mm-hmm. All right, next one. Oh, it's gonna get mean now.
Ooh.
The People Mover versus the moving theater car from the Great Movie Ride. Jason, why don't you lead us off?
This one is probably the matchup of the night. But I honestly, like, my earliest memories of any trip to Disney World were not the Great Movie Ride because I was there before it opened. So I have to go with People Mover in this one.
A fair argument. It wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
Solid argument. Eric?
Yeah, I have to go with the People Mover as much as I have respect for the Great Movie Ride vehicle. I just think the People Mover is a little cooler, and hopefully they get it working again soon.
Marcy?
I love the Great Movie Ride, but because I'm away from more people on the People Mover, I'd rather sit on that.
In fairness, the Great Movie Ride. Life was good until the Great Movie Ride closed, and then the pandemic happened. So remember that. Nick?
Yeah, taking the actual attraction out of the influence here of this boat. I mean, I have to go with the People Mover because it adds to the environment too. Like the Great Movie Ride vehicle doesn't do anything, but I'm not sitting there watching that go by and interact. And
did you say the Great Movie Ride vehicle didn't do anything?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, I spoke very highly about it last round, but this round is a different story. No, look, you're not sitting there watching the Great Movie Ride vehicle. Where I could sit there and watch the People Mover and that be part of my experience in the land. And I mean, in the end, they're both just moving seats. So look, come on.
Most of these things are in fact just
so
what a vehicle is, in fact. Your car, in fact, is moving seats. You want to get existential about this?
Oh, people mover.
Allison?
I mean, look at what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
And I want to show off what I have today, which is a tiny 3D printed people mover vehicle that we keep our wedding rings in. And it was also signed by Bob Gurr. So with that being said, people mover.
Axel?
I was going to say great movie ride, but then Marcy reminded me that on the people mover, you're away from people.
It's the ultimate vehicle for people avoidance.
Which I really dig, so I'm going to go with the people mover.
To be honest, I was going to surprise everyone and just pick people mover anyway. Like, I love the great movie ride, but if we're talking just vehicles, right? Like, the people mover is iconic for a number of reasons. Number one, because it is this kinetic piece in the land. It's an important piece of giving Tomorrowland that world on the move feel, right? I'm picking great movie ride though, just so it doesn't get shut out, so I can feel good about that. But people mover definitely deserves to win. See, it wasn't even that. Jason thought it was going to be this hard matchup, and it was a complete blowout. We'll find out what the match of the night is then. Let's move on to the next matchup. The Horizons vehicle versus Peter Pan's flight. Nick, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, so, I mean, Peter Pan's flight, that's a great, iconic vehicle, but Horizons, the vehicle looks blah from the outside, but you can't judge a book by its cover. And you get inside that thing, and it's magical, and I could push buttons, and I could choose my destination.
I almost disagree with you about it being boring.
No, you're probably right.
Because, it loaded from the middle. Yeah. Which nothing did.
Nothing did it. Yeah.
I always thought that was, like, as a kid, I remember that load. I almost remember the load area more vividly than I remember the rest of the ride.
Well, good. Keep making my point.
I mean, the people mover cars load from the middle.
What's that?
Yeah, but not, like, into... It's different, though, right? Like, they're two throws that face inward.
Because they're facing each other. Yeah.
So, I really just... I connect more to the Horizons vehicle. Just, and it's not even the ride. I know that could fuzzy up your emotions here, but seriously, the fact that, like, I was in awe of the fact that I got to sit in a vehicle that interacted with the ride, that did things that, you know, that impacted my outcome. So, Horizons.
Allison?
The Peter Pan vehicle. It's so adorable. I have to vote for it. So, Peter Pan.
Axel?
I'm going to go with Peter Pan because it's going to be the first vehicle in Disney history where the ride around it is going to be canceled before the actual vehicle. So I'm going to go with the pirate ship.
I think you mean Jungle Cruise. Change the whole ride.
There's a lot of it right now.
Actually, Incredicoaster already happened. They just changed the whole ride. Jason? Just pick Horizons and be done with it.
So... there's only one attraction vehicle that I know of in this tournament that you can't see out the front of, and that's the pirate ship at Peter Pan's flight.
It's on purpose.
So I'm not voting for a ride vehicle that you can't see out the front of.
It's on purpose.
Plus Horizons is at Epcot.
Yeah, just pick Horizon.
So, Horizon.
Can we clarify that the reason that's there is because they didn't want you to see the track? Right? Like, there's nothing really to see in front of you. The scenes are on either side. Like, it's purposeful. But, yeah. Marcy?
So there are a lot of omni-movers that just go along a track, right? But Peter Pan's flight is the only one that I can think of that takes you in the air and you're actually flying over a scene. So, and not to mention, it is incredibly adorable. I love how colorful they are. I love the shape of them. They're great. They're amazing. So I'm definitely going to have to go with Peter Pan's flight.
Eric?
I mean, Horizons, you flew over many of the scenes.
You were in space, literally, at one point.
Screen base.
You went into space. But you weren't. Jason makes a fair point. You legitimately were over stuff. Like, Horizons did elevate in scenes. Like, you were looking down at some stuff. Yeah. It's not incorrect. Eric?
I don't agree that it's the only vehicle that you can't see in front of. There are a number just in this tournament.
Runaway
like
Railway with
male-
plexiglass?
I need to start by saying Horizons is my favorite Walt Disney World attraction of all time. At the same time, the ride vehicle on Peter Pan's Flight, it's very charming, it's clever, it's analog. It evokes certain emotions of childhood. It's a suspended ride vehicle, which is kind of cool, especially for its time. And it has an iconic appearance, so I'm going to go with Peter Pan's Flight.
I also am going to go with Peter Pan's Flight because I love the Horizons car. I have nothing against it, but Peter Pan is one of the most iconic vehicles. Like bar none. It goes back to Disneyland in 1955. It is associated with so many people's childhood and their nostalgia. And Horizons is like that to a select few of us who rode Horizons, but Peter Pan is multi-generational. I think that makes a big difference. So what is that? That's 25-10 for Peter Pan. Next matchup.
We actually already got a call-in vote for the pirate ship.
Oh.
So it's now 27-10.
27.
Play the music.
We'll have it next week. Next matchup. The Big Thunder Mountain Railroad versus, the Super Stretch Limo from Rock and Roller Coaster. This is a good one. I like this one. Marcy, why don't you start us off?
I guess I'm going to go with Big Thunder.
I'm going to kill you. Marcy, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. I think I'm going to go with Big Thunder just because I like that it's outside and you can see it in action, whereas like with Rock and Roller Coaster, you can't really see the limo. You can only see it going from 0 to 60. So I'm gonna go with Big Thunder.
Eric?
Aw, Eric.
His voice is gone.
Oh, is your voice gone?
He's right now. All right, Big Thunder. Jason, muted.
Oh.
Jason. Oh, he's rustling the bag. Jason. That's what happened. Jason. Nope, Jason's muted too. Nope.
Some of my earliest memories of my Walt Disney World trips when I was a kid, again, were on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and that's because Rock and Roller Coaster wasn't open yet. So I'm gonna go with Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
You just pick the worst reasoning every year.
It wasn't open.
This was there when I was a kid, and this wasn't. So I don't like this.
Keep having them on.
Nick.
I kind of wanted to vote for Rock and Roller Coaster after a lot of people's opinions last week. You kind of swayed me, and I almost wanted to even change my opinion last week. Yeah. But I can't vote for it against the train of Big Thunder Mountain. I really can't. I just, to me, there's something incredibly charming about that train, and a lot of what I seem to like about ride vehicles, now that I'm like deeply thinking about this, because I don't think I've deeply thought about ride vehicles like this ever. Like, a lot of it is the setting, and that I just love that train against that setting. And again, I'm all for that. You could see it from a distance in other places on the lands, or if you're on Tom Sawyer's Island, seeing the train go by. Love it.
Allison?
Yeah, I think my reasoning is very similar to Nick's, that I like the vehicles that are classic. I like the vehicles that are a little bit more whimsical, and I think that the roller coaster is really neat. But I'm gonna have to vote for the railroad.
So the roller coaster train that looks like a train is more whimsical than the stylized limousine that somehow seats like 40 people. And they sit with restraint.
And classic.
over
And a
their
classic.
shoulders.
Yeah.
And no, right.
You know what? That's another vote against the darn limo. Those restraints
That darn
are
limo.
not fun. My head bounces around.
In
it gets
Rock
all
and
red.
Roller Coaster?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I'm the wrong
A
size.
little
for that.
bit,
Does that-
but
that
not
happens
too
to
much
me.
for
All
me.
right.
Do other short people get that?
Maybe.
Is it a short people thing?
I don't know. It really hurts
Maybe
my
it
ears
is.
because I don't hear it from taller people.
Huh.
Hulk, I get bashed. Hulk bash. Axel.
I'm gonna go for this light
Axel,
is in my
no.
hands.
I like how usually I do
I'm-
the cigarette thing backwards, but you did that backwards.
I'm gonna go for Rock and Roller Coaster. Just for there's better versions of Big Thunder Mountain, and whereas the Super Stretch Limo, it's cool.
You know, Paris
Just
didn't have
cool.
a better version of Rock and Roller Coaster.
That's why I'm choosing Rock and Roller Coaster.
Is the vehicle a limo here? No. What is it? I don't know. It has a thing on the hood. I don't know.
It's a sound tester machine thing. That's how we test sound in Europe.
With roller coaster
With
trains?
roller coaster train.
Oh, it was the word. And then the pre-show's like a minute long. I was like, is that it? The door opened. Did they open the door early? Oh, man. I like both of these a lot. I really love both of them. I'm voting for Rock and Roller Coaster. I love Big Thunder, but that front of that car is just so cool. And it looks so cool going down the alley and the fins on the back. I'm sorry. Like, I love Big Thunder, but I love that Rock and Roller Coaster train. All right, it didn't matter much, though. It's 25-10 for Big Thunder. What's the next matchup? A Mr. Toad car versus a Kali River Rat. Let's make it quick. Axel.
I mean, this is a no-brainer. Cali Rapids.
I knew he was going to say that.
Because of the luggage.
It's a big.
You're not really picking Kali Rapids, are you?
I do.
Over Mr. Toad.
Yes.
Why?
Because I can get everybody wet in that boat. I wish I was joking.
I was going to say something. I'm not going to say it. All right, Allison, go ahead.
I do like the Cali raft, but the vote is going to go for the Mr. Toad's car.
No one else is picking Cali.
I can't pick it over the Toad's car, but I do like the raft. I'm sorry, Axel. He's
Nick.
so upset now.
Nick.
How much luggage can we fit in that Toad car? Does it have good
Just
trunk
put it on the
space?
front like the upcharge.
Toad car.
Toad car. I'm also picking Toad car. Jason?
Toad car.
Toad car. Eric?
Motor car.
Marcy?
Yeah, Toad car.
Yeah, all right. Everyone, Axel's got everyone scratching their head. 30-5 for Mr. Toad. Next matchup. The Anandapur Rail Service train from Expedition Everest versus the First Order prisoner transport from Star Wars Rise of the Resistance.
Everything's fine here.
Nick just knocked a drink all over the rug.
No.
Just the right. It's water.
Laurent's face.
It's water. It didn't touch the electrical stuff.
It's not on the
Did it get on the icon?
We're fine. We're alive. It's fine. It's not the first thing to be spilled here this week.
No.
Allison, why don't you start us off?
Easy. It's the Rise vehicles. It has a droid.
It is easy, isn't
Yeah.
it? There's a droid. That's right. Axel.
I mean, as I already picked one Animal Kingdom ride, and there's one. If there was one thing I like about rides, it's luggage and trash cans. So I'm going to go with the trash can and go for Rise.
Nick.
This one's not super simple. I did not know people didn't like that train as much as I do. I didn't know people had a problem with the train engine being in the back. I don't know. Anyway, I always loved that train. But yeah, there's something special about having a droid, an animatronic droid, drive you around and interact with everything. So Rise, it has to be the Rise vehicle.
Yeah, I'm taking Rise also.
Yeah.
It's just very special It's very different, even for a trackless ride, which now there's a bunch of. It's very unique. Jason?
I mean, I like vehicles that like smoke comes out of, and that happens on Rise, but it's not supposed to.
That happens on every ride in Disneyland Paris. Come and visit.
Yeah, that's true too.
All the rides.
So that kind of makes me want to pick the train, so I'll pick the train.
Oh, okay. Eric?
I go with Rise.
Marcy?
Yeah, absolutely, Rise.
That is 30-5 for Rise. Next matchup. The Seven Dwarfs Mine Train versus a Mad Tea Party teacup. Allison, why don't you start us off?
I was dressed as a teacup last week. I have to vote for it again.
Just because you were dressed as?
Well, just a little bit. My decisions are not based on my wardrobe. My wardrobe is based on my decisions. But it's very cute. I like the teacups.
Very loose. I can't argue with that. Axel.
That was great.
Why would I choose her teacups above Mine Train? So I'm gonna go with Mine Train.
Oh, someday you two are going to play out that joke. Eric, why don't you go ahead since he did your joke.
I banked some time earlier so I could talk about this. Last week I mentioned that the one shortcoming of the Mine Train vehicle was it's kind of uncomfortable if you're a larger person or whatever. Someone remarked it's not just being wide, right? It's if you're tall. It has like the individual, like 18 inches apart pull bar. Can be uncomfortable. Then I was live streaming, and someone said in the comments after the live stream was over, said, "How fat do you have to be to complain about that ride vehicle?" And I say to you, sir, about this fat. So I still think it's better than a teacup. It's more advanced, but the teacup is a little more iconic and nostalgic. I'm going to go with the Mine Train in a toss-up.
Kembe Mutombo fits great in the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Marcy, go ahead.
This is tough for me because Alice in Wonderland is my favorite animated film, and I love the teacups. I love the unbirthday scene. That's one of my favorite, most iconic scenes of the movie. But I cannot step foot in a teacup. It makes me so ill. I can't, even if we just go on it and not twirl it, I still get very ill. I just can't go on it. So I think I'm going to have to choose Mine Train.
Jason?
I'm going to choose only one of these rides makes me ill, and so I'm going to choose the teacup.
Allison?
I voted for teacups.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Who hasn't gone? You?
Nick.
Nick.
So it's interesting because Eric last week brought up a good point about Mine Train. How I think it was Eric. How it's actually a little bit disappointing in that I thought it was going to be more sway, more movement, a different feel than it ended up being. I like the look of them, and they're very charming, and they fit the scene. But the teacups do exactly what you expect them to do, and exactly what you want them to do, and they deliver on a great fun experience, and they're adorable. So the teacups for sure.
Yeah. I'm also going with the teacup. It's too iconic, right? It's such a fixture of the parks that Mine Train's too young, and it's not a ride everyone can do. It's never going to reach that kind of that level of iconic, right? The teacups it's such an integral part of the whole Disney World experience and the culture. I think you got to go teacup. Did everyone go?
Mm-hmm.
I missed someone's vote. So what is the final vote on that one? Jason, do we
Nick,
know?
you voted for teacup?
I voted for teacup, yeah.
What did Nick vote for?
Teacup.
Okay, then teacup wins 20-15.
20-15, okay. I lost someone's vote in there. Okay. Moving on to the other side of the bracket. What's up next? The Walt Disney World Railroad Trains versus the old Snow White Scary Adventure mine cart. Axel?
Mine cart is so adorable, but I'm going to go with your train.
Okay. Allison?
I'm gonna go with train. Yeah.
Okay. Nick?
That's a hard decision.
Yeah, this is, I could tell everybody's like torn about this one, right? It's a little bit of a toss-up because the train is awesome. The Snow White minecart is adorable. I'm gonna say, oh man, I love that train. The train. Yeah.
The train is like a piece of art.
It is.
Not that the
It really
car
is.
isn't cool, but the trains
I know, but the
are
train's a
kind of like a
train.
lost art, right?
Yeah.
Like the old steam locomotive,
But
right?
it's also a train. Like you could see trains everywhere.
They're still very special
They
trains.
are. They are
though.
special trains.
I'm also taking the train.
Yeah.
Jason?
Train.
Train. Eric?
Train.
Train. Marcy?
Yeah, the train.
That's our first sweep.
Wow.
That's 35-0
I
for
guess
the
people weren't
railroad.
torn.
All right, next matchup. The Star Tours graphic isn't working, but it's going to be... Well, Star Tours is gone anyway. No, Star Tours didn't win. The Fire
It did.
Engine won. Is our bracket
Did it
wrong?
really?
Oh, yeah, it says Star Speeder versus Hang Glider.
I thought the Fire Engine won last week.
Let me double check.
Hold on, we're double checking. I'm pretty sure the Fire Engine won 25-10.
We have Star Speeder 25-10, but that we could be wrong on here.
I think he's got it backwards. I'm pretty sure the Fire Engine
You are
beat.
correct, Tom. The
Yeah.
Fire Engine won.
We don't have the
That's my
graphic.
mistake,
So the
sorry.
Main Street Fire Engine versus the Soarin' Hang Glider. Allison?
I'm gonna go with the fire engine.
Fire Engine.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with fire engine. I mean, the hang glider is pretty cool, but not at the same time. I don't know how to describe it.
Marcy?
Yeah, absolutely. The fire engine. It's extremely iconic, and Main Street just wouldn't be the same without it.
Yeah.
Eric?
I said it last week. I'll say it again. I've never ridden the Fire Engine. I don't know anyone who's ridden the Fire Engine. I've never seen it driving down Main Street. I'm going to go for the hang glider.
You do know someone who's been in the Fire Engine. I think most of us.
Yeah.
Jason?
I'm going to go with the Fire Engine because the hang glider is a feat of technology, but it's just not special enough.
Okay, Axel?
Well, I would say the hang glider for the smells, but once you board the Fire Engine and you go down Main Street with a baby on your left, somebody eating Cheetos on your right, they're smelly enough, so I'm going to go with the Fire Engine.
Fire Engine. Nick?
I don't necessarily want the hang glider, but I also don't feel I want the fire engine to go into the next round.
You have to take one of them.
I know, but I just don't. I don't feel the fire engine.
Pick
really
what's going to
deserves
lose to the
go.
railroad.
Yeah, so hang glider.
Hang glider. I'm picking the Fire Engine. I don't like the hang glider. So
know.
Fire Engine versus railroad the next round. We'll see if people sway it. Next up, the Kilimanjaro Safari truck taking on the Test Track Sim car. I'm going to start us off. I'm taking the Test Track car. The Test Track car is cool. Like I said last week, it's got a little of that Back to the Future thing going for it with all the wires and lights and stuff, and the machinery in the back. I don't necessarily like the blue decal. I like the old yellow and white, but I just think it's a cool vehicle. The Kilimanjaro truck is cool. It's really well themed, but I don't know. The Test Track car is just cooler. Nick?
At first I thought I was going to say safari truck, but I'm not. In the end, it's a truck. It's a truck with luggage. I'm gonna.
You guys are now not up with the luggage this week.
Lots-
Last week that was your
It was
big
all
thing
about
was the luggage.
I'm finicky.
It's not in vogue anymore.
So Test Track, I mean, that car is so sleek, so beautiful, and it's just, I don't know, there's something cool about it. I like that car a lot. It is, and it's so simple. So,
Yeah.
Test Track.
Allison?
My vote is for the safari truck. I love it. As soon as I see it, I know that I'm in for a little bit of an adventure. I'm be learning things. I know I'm going to be seeing some really cool animals. And I don't know, I see it and I'm just ready to go on this wonderful safari. So my vote is for the safari vehicle.
All right. Axel?
I mean, the safari vehicle is driven by an actual cast member. So I'm absolutely going to vote for Test Track because I have trust issues. Plus, there's no seat belts on the safari. There's none.
It's a little rough. You know. It's meant to be, but yeah. Jason?
I wish that it wasn't the sim car that we were voting for, and I wish it was the car from
It's
the
either
first
version,
iteration of
because
Test
remember,
Track.
it's through
I know.
history, so it's both versions.
I know. So that's even though I'm protesting against the second version of Test Track, I'm going to vote for the sim car anyway.
That's fine. Eric? You're muted.
He really has no voice anymore.
No, Eric.
His voice is totally gone.
Sorry, I'm back. I apologize. I really like the aesthetic of the safari vehicle. I think it enhances the ride a lot. It has some shortcomings. I think the rows are too long, so you can get stuck in the middle where you can't really see very well, especially now that there's like shower curtains hanging there. I like that a cast member is driving it and that anything could happen. But at the end of the day, I think the sim car has a little bit more. There's a lot of things they can do with that same ride system, and the vehicle itself is pretty cool. I have to go with the sim car.
It's more of a shower liner than a curtain. Marcy?
I don't really understand why everybody's gushing over this sim car. I mean, the front's too short. It's not comfortable. I really don't know why everybody thinks it's so amazing. Like, I think that the safari truck is a lot cooler. It really, like Eric said, it really enhances the attraction, and it really fits into what you're doing. And there's like stripes on the front, so it looks like you're riding in like a zebra. It's really cool.
Well, one of them is a truck they bought and rethemed. And the other is a thing they built from the ground up to be the first like racing attraction in the world. So that might be part of it. Sim car. Next match. What do we got? We have the Maelstrom boat versus the Mike Fink keel boat. It's got that mystique to it, that Mike Fink keel boat.
Nice.
Nick, go ahead.
Oh, man. And that, just put them there, and like, which one would I rather like jump aboard, not knowing anything about the ride or the adventure that's ahead of me? Mike Fink keelboat, because I mean that one just says, I don't know what's gonna happen, dude, but you're gonna have a great time on this boat.
They didn't know what was gonna happen every time either.
I mean, that's just like, it's the epitome of fun. And the other one is so beautiful. It's such a beautiful Viking boat, but come on. I vote kink.
What?
Fink.
Oh my God.
This is...
Nick is going for the kinky boats.
Of all the things for him to say.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Is that gonna be on the maxi van?
Oh man. I vote kink.
I vote kink.
We knew.
That's gonna be our next magnet.
That's the March strategy.
Is that
I
it?
vote kink.
Nick is red.
Oh goodness.
You can't touch it.
Oh my goodness. I'm done.
No.
Yep, you are. That's the one. That's it. You've topped the Typhoon Lagoon story now. Topped it. All right. I don't even know what's happening. Was he the first one? I don't
Yes,
know.
he was.
Yep, and the last. Jason, pick your Viking boat. Come on.
Viking boat.
Yeah, Viking boat. There you go. Eric.
Viking boat.
Viking boat. Marcy.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Mike Fink, but it kind of ruined it, so I'm gonna go with the Viking boat.
Not like Nick to ruin things for a woman.
No.
Oh boy.
Allison.
I've never been on the keel boat, but I'm very intrigued by it. What? What? What am I saying?
Oh, it's a great time. I guarantee it.
I vote for the boat.
Which one? They're both.
Oh, the keel boat. Keel boat.
Look what you did.
I derailed.
What did you do? Axel.
Keel boat.
I wasn't able to experience the keel boat, but I did see those shutters. I now absolutely know that they can close, so I'm going to vote for Kink as well and go with the closed shutters of the keel boat.
Oh no.
I'm voting for the kink boat. Kink boat. Oh, kink boat is this year's secret Swiss bobsled training facility. So, barely squeaked by for a number of reasons. The Mike Fink keel boat. Kink boat, whatever you want to call it. The kink boat. What's up? What's up next, please? The Dune Buggy versus the Backlot Tram. I'm going to start us off. I know I'm wearing a Haunted Mansion shirt. I know that. The Dune Buggy is not the thing I love about Haunted Mansion. I know people like the Dune Buggy. I don't like the Dune Buggy is probably the right vehicle for that ride, but it's also nothing special, right? Like it's literally the same vehicle from Adventure Through Inner Space. They just were like, oh, we'll just make it black. It's going to be an Omni Mover. Just turn it black and we'll call it a Dune Buggy. It's funny. And that was it. As opposed to the tram, which again, this is another ride like Jungle Cruise where it's part of the name. It's the focal point of the whole thing is the tram. It's the most iconic part of the whole ride and literally a ride that defined that whole park when it opened. For all those reasons, I'm taking the tram. I know no one else is going to, but I'm taking the tram. Marcy?
Sorry, yeah, definitely the tram. I mean, it was in all of the commercials that I remember. And there's nothing really that special about the Dune Buggies except for the shape. I mean, if you just look at a Dune Buggy next to the tram, I mean, the tram is a lot more, it's more impressive. It's cool.
Jason?
Yeah, I have to say, Tom, I agree with you.
Wow.
There's nothing special about the Dune Buggy. There isn't.
Right. Eric?
So the Dune Buggy, like, just the name is really cool. Like, it goes with the theme, the Dune Buggy. I think it's cool. And I remember as a kid, it got my brother when he reached for the safety bar. It's like, do not pull down. And he's like, whoa, like, that's really cool. But the Backlot Tram, I mean, the hash marks on it, the look of it is very iconic. Instantly, you can identify that thing from just looking at a part of it. It's not just a black paint job on a what amounts to basically a standard Omni Mover. If I'm separating the attraction from the ride vehicle, I have to go with the Backlot Tram.
Wow. Allison?
I thought I was going to vote for Dune Buggy going into this, but hearing everybody's arguments, I feel like I've been swayed, and I think I'm going to vote for the tram. It kind of brings you back to that classic original MGM Studios.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it to the tram. Yeah.
Axel?
I mean, I've always been for a slow-moving, scary vehicle. Especially the Paris version had Jeremy Irons. So I'm going to go with the tram.
I knew it was coming. Rain of Fire. Nick?
I am so glad we're finally being real about the Dune Buggy. It's a freaking black clamshell. Like, there's not, like, yeah.
Is this a sweep?
It's a sweep.
Oh, man!
It's about time
Boom.
we woke up. Doom buggy.
Whoever had Doom buggy just like threw their computer against the wall. Like I thought I was going far. What is this? So that's what is that? 35-0, right? That's where we're at. Yeah. A lot of people have to call in now to sway that one.
You think we're gonna get some votes for this?
It's going to take a lot of calls.
Yeah.
But there might be enough people with Doom buggy. I don't know. I don't know the numbers. All right, let's move on. 2 time machines coming up. The Spaceship Earth time machine versus the Time Rover. The hockey thing. You see it, yeah. Jason, why don't you start us off?
Spaceship Earth, no question.
Because it's at Epcot, yeah. Eric?
Simple.
The Spaceship Earth ride system is more impressive, but I don't know if the vehicle is as impressive as the Time Rover. I don't love that attraction as much as I love Spaceship Earth, but I have to say the ride vehicle is pretty awesome. So I'm going to go with the Time Rover.
Wow. Marcy?
I have to go with the Spaceship Earth time machine because it has a touch screen. It's interactive.
Oh, that's the worst.
And it
part
rotates
of it.
for your return to Earth.
It does. It rotates.
The Time Rover does not rotate for your return to Earth.
The kink boat does.
No.
Nick, go ahead.
The fun part about the time machine is it really looks like it was kind of like slapped together in like a garage of a mad scientist trying to travel through time. Like I love it. It just has such a great aesthetic to it. So it has to be the Time Rover by far.
Allison.
Yeah, I feel the same as Eric Morton that I love Spaceship Earth, but if we're talking purely about the vehicles, it's going to be the Time Rover dinosaur.
Axel.
Well, in this case, there's one vehicle that really talks to me, and it talks to me in different languages. So it's going to be Spaceship Earth.
I'm the tiebreaker. I love Dinosaur. If you can't remember, we did a whole Dino Land episode of the show. But I know it's a lot simpler, but I think that's part of why the Spaceship Earth vehicle's better. I think it's so much more iconic. I could never imagine that ride with anything else. That weird teal, number one, it's so beautiful. That shimmering teal on all of those vehicles. The color, the weird, I talked about it last time, the weird divider thing between cars, the blocky seats, the headrest. There's something about it. It's so well designed. It just captures the Epcot Center essence so well that vehicle is forever timeless and is, at this point, it might be the only thing I even still ride that ride for. At this point, it's just sit in the car. So Spaceship Earth by a nose. Next matchup. The Skyway Bucket against the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. Nick.
I'm not sure yet what would beat the Millennium Falcon cockpit for me, because recreating that, it's kind of like the Nautilus. It's kind of like they took something out of the movies, recreated it, and put it there, and this is even a step up from the Nautilus, right? Like I get to sit inside, flip levers, pull switches, like I'm going through hyperspace.
Yeah.
This is why theme parks are special. This is why I pay money to go there, to experience something like this.
Yeah. That's
Falcon.
fair. Yeah. Allison?
Yeah, we were talking about last week how the Millennium Falcon is why you go in there. That's why you do Smuggler's Run. The vehicle itself is the main attraction. So that's why I'm voting for the Falcon.
Axel?
I tried it. It's way more obvious if you spit on other people in the Millennium Falcon rather than a sky bucket, so I'm going to go with a sky bucket.
All right. I'm also picking the Falcon cockpit. It's perfect inside. It's just it's an absolutely perfect vehicle. They if there was anything they succeeded with in that attraction, it's that cockpit. It feels like you're in there, and it's the coolest part of the whole attraction. Coolest part. Jason?
Yep, totally agree. Falcon cockpit.
Eric?
I love the sky buckets, but you can ride those at much lesser theme parks, state fairs, whatever. The Millennium Falcon cockpit may be perfect, and for someone my age, it's doubly perfect, right? I've been dreaming of being in that cockpit my whole life. I went in, and it exceeded my expectations. The attention to detail and the overall immersion in that ride vehicle is second to none. It's got to be the Millennium Falcon.
Although in our childhood dreams, Han Solo was still alive, probably. Marcy?
Yeah, Millennium Falcon. Nothing can beat it.
Wow, that's a big win. Last matchup of the round. The Liberty Bell versus Dumbo, the flying elephant. It's still my cute picture from Tokyo. It's very cute. I love that picture, though. It's fine. Just leave it. Nick, what do you like?
Man, I think normally I'm voting for something like I give the edge to something if it adds to the land, which I think the boat does, the Liberty Bell boat. But in this case, I think the Dumbo ride vehicle is just like so perfect, so so iconic, so something that you associate with Disney, and it's just a joy for for kids to go to the park and ride in that vehicle. It's something. It's a rite of passage, I guess. Yeah. So I'm going Dumbo.
Okay, Allison.
Yeah, the Dumbo was just so classic. A lot of when you think of Magic Kingdom, that's one of the vehicles that comes to mind automatically. It's we were talking about last week. It's in the advertisements. It's in commercials. It's in the brochures, the maps, everything. Yeah. And there's a reason for that. I think that Dumbo might be a contender for the number one spot even. So I vote for Dumbo.
Axel.
The Liberty Bell is basically the peep show for the king boats.
Is it?
So the boat it is.
Hate all of you. Dumbo is the most iconic ride vehicle of all time, and not that I don't like the riverboat, but I'm voting Dumbo. Jason.
I'm trying to not be swayed by all your arguments about Dumbo because they're all accurate, but I mean the Liberty Bell is the ride, right? Like without the ride vehicle there wouldn't be a ride.
I think you could say that for any of these.
No, but you could have a Dumbo ride with a magic carpet as the ride vehicle because that exists.
You couldn't. Then it's Magic Carpets of Aladdin.
But it's the same ride.
What does that mean? A boat goes around water. They're all boats.
Well, I don't know.
Riverboat and Dumbo, they're both in the name.
I'm voting for the Liberty Bell.
Fine.
He's trying. At least he's trying.
Eric, yeah, well, when there's not Epcot involved, he has to. Eric.
Dumbo is instantly identifiable. It's the most photogenic ride vehicle on property. It's a classic. It's adorable. As a ride vehicle, as a passenger, it sucks. It is uncomfortable. You slide around. It has this terrible excuse for a seatbelt. The steering is not responsive at all. The Liberty Bell, every time you ride it, you in a different place, explore it a little bit. Let me try the front third deck. Let me try the back first deck or the second deck. I think it is a sleeper. I think this might be this might make a deep run. I have to go with the Liberty Bell.
Marcy?
No way. Dumbo is synonymous with Disney. I mean, there's no way. Like, even if you were to ask somebody who's not even like a true core Disney fan, if somebody just wanted to go to Disney, once or twice in their lifetime, and you said, if you think of Disney, what do you think? And they're gonna say either the castle or riding in Dumbo. Like that's what they're gonna say because it's synonymous with Disney. So I'm
people who've
definitely
never
gonna
been
choose
though.
They're going to say, oh, I really can't wait to ride those screen-based attractions. That's what most people say when I ask them about Disney.
All right, Dumbo, just barely, so that can be swayed. So I'm going to go over the current, what was it?
That just barely? Dumbo?
Yeah, by one vote.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah. So I'm going to go over the results of the round, and then we're going to take a commercial break. And while we're on commercial, you should call in if you need to sway anything. But as of right now, it was the Nautilus over the horse-drawn streetcar 30-5, the Jungle Cruise 30-5 over Living with the Land, the People Mover over the Great Movie Ride 30-5. I know as of last update it was 27-10 for Peter Pan over. I can't even read my handwriting. Over whatever Peter
Horizons.
Pan. Horizons. Big Thunder Mountain, 25-10 over Rock and Roller Coaster. 30-5 Toad over Kali River Rapids. 30-5 Rise over Everest. 20-15 Teacups over Mine Train. 35-0 Railroad over Mine Cart. 25-10 the Fire Engine over the Hang Glider. The Sim Car over the Safari. The Keel Boats over the Norway Viking ship. The Tram over the Doom Buggy. Spaceship Earth over the Time Rover. The Falcon Cockpit over the Skyway by a bunch. And then real close, Dumbo just edging out Liberty Bell by 5. So put the number up. If we haven't yet, give people the phone number. That's the number to call. It's 8327-WDWNT7, 8327-WDWNT7. You have until the end of the commercial break to call in. Call now. We'll be back with more tonight.
I went on the Jungle Cruise at the Magic Kingdom, and now my family's drowning. Quiet, honey. Mommy's talking. I had to pee in the Nile. Gondola got me so much restitution, I can't even list it all. Thanks, Gondola.
Were you submerged on the Jungle Cruise? Get the compensation you deserve. Call 1-777-777-7777 for the law offices of Gondola.
Hello, I'm Bud G. Gon.
And I'm Roz Dola.
Did your family sink in a Jungle Cruise boat?
Don't get ambushed by Disney loiters and settle when we can get you more. We're not even talking about Disney gift cards anymore. We'll get you actual money.
We can get 2 free Disney cruises for every one of you.
So call us now, before the river water even dries from your socks.
And we'll take Disney to the cleaners.
Gondola also handles sinking ferry boat, sinking friendship boat, and sinking gondola cases. Call 1-777-777-7777 to make sure Disney gets the points in the end.
I can't believe all the 20 years of adventure in California merchandise coming from the carousel of products. Like this limited edition of 200 collectible button, which wishes the park a happy birthday. Or you can write your own name on there. Do whatever you like. Only $4. We also have t-shirts because I hate wearing this thing. It's very hot in it under these lights. But you could be comfortable in these t-shirts. Yes, this one has a road map. It's upside down, but when you turn it this way, it has a road map of California on it with all your favorite landmarks from the past and the present, maybe even things you really hated, but it's kind of fun that they're here. And all of our tees have the Carousel of Products logo. This limited edition shirt, $20. Like all of our t-shirts, including this one, which has the Sunwheel insignia on it with all these great landmarks from the park, as well as this beautiful and, well, sometimes bad skyline of things past and present from California. Again, only $20 from the Carousel of Products.
And just added to the collection is a fancy new face mask for just $9 and this limited edition of 200 pin that's only $8. Isn't that just the bee's orange? I mean, knees, whatever. Just head to carouselofproducts.com.
Welcome to Deep in the Plus. Each week we take a different movie or TV show from the Disney Plus vault and we tell you the history, the details, we give you our review, and we tell you if it's worth your time. Catch Deep in the Plus every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on WDW NT Entertainment.
Welcome back to WDW News Tonight. We are live on YouTube. Please, if you're enjoying our extra long March Madness shows, hit that like button. Please subscribe. Do all those things. Please. What's coming up on the show? Next week, we begin a new March Madness tournament. It is our attraction, and it's not just going to be rides. We still didn't fix that. Not just going to be rides, it's going to be resorts, restaurants, all sorts of stuff, backstories from the parks. A tournament of only 32 of them, though. 32 attraction backstories starts next week, carries over 2 weeks. Also on March 25th, Cornac the Magnificent will return. Episode 170 is our April Fool's show, a top 7 funniest attractions, and a couple other new segments and surprises coming up on that show. And then on April 8th, the DFB Cupcake Game is back. Ooh. Better clean the rugs, because the Cupcake Game's coming.
Get these Osprey nests out of here.
Get the Osprey nests out of the way for the Cupcake Game. All that more coming up the next couple weeks on the show. Nick, who brings us the show every week?
News Tonight is brought to you by the Vacationaire, the engineers of your next magical vacation. Sit back and let their team of vacation planning experts craft your family's next magical Disney trip. The best part is, their services are free. Visit WDWNT.travel for details. The Vacationaire, the official travel agency of WDWNT.
Thank you, Nick. All right, Jason, can we get an update of the scores?
We sure can. Tom, we have not one, but 2 of these contests have been swayed by call-in votes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So we got 5 call-in votes for the Viking ship to put the kink boat out of commission.
No!
Yeah.
No!
You see the disappointment in
What have
Nick's
you
eyes.
guys done?
Oh.
I can't believe that.
The Viking ship has now beaten the kink boat 25-22.
Wow.
My heart will go on.
But you think that's bad?
Oh, no.
We got 4 call-in votes for the mine train to give it the edge over the teacup.
No, what is happening?
Too many of you voted for the damn mine train.
There are mine people.
Jeez.
I love you all.
So,
really?
Yep. People were calling in like crazy. We got 4 call-in votes for the hang glider to try to push it over the fire engine, but the fire engine still hung on. We got 5 call-in votes for the Spaceship Earth time machine just to make sure the Time Rover couldn't make a late push there. Time Rover got 1 call-in vote, but that wasn't enough. The Liberty Bell got 2 call-in votes to put it, but Dumbo got 1, and so Dumbo still edges out the Liberty Bell by a score of 22-19.
That's it. The round is closed.
Two matches.
Wow.
Overturned.
All right.
Wow.
Well, I think Lauren's still revising things now that things have changed. So we'll give her a moment.
I thought that the teacups
But
were
yes,
gonna
there you go.
be
The Mad Tea Party teacup is gone because again, that's what happens if our decision is too close. It opens the door for it to be swayed, and that's what happened in the case of the teacup. Obviously, the Viking ship versus the keelboat was not a a clean-cut match. Like it was close, and the arguments could be made for either, right? So
yeah,
there you have it. Are we ready now? We're trying to refresh the bracket. Well, if not, people have the brackets at home. We can let's keep moving. All right, first matchup. Let's go. That's not it. Nautilus. There you go. The Nautilus versus the Jungle Cruise. These are going to get tough now.
That is.
This is it now. Axel.
I mean, the Nautilus like went underwater. I'm gonna go with the Jungle Cruise boat.
Allison.
I vote for the Jungle Cruise boat as well. 100%.
Wow.
Yep.
Jason.
I've got to go with the Nautilus. I mean, I have a seat. It's got to be the Nautilus.
Okay. Eric?
This is the most difficult matchup of the night. I'm going to go with the Nautilus.
Nautilus? Marcy?
Yeah, the Nautilus. I mean, it's a submarine.
It's a that should be the tagline. The Nautilus, it's a submarine. All right, it's 3 votes to 2. Nick?
Yeah. Nautilus, I think, is more visually stunning. Jungle Cruise is that character in the story, right? So this is hard, but I'd go Nautilus. Which would I want to drive down the river? Nautilus.
This is hard, right? Because the Jungle Cruise it has to be more iconic, right? It's the Jungle Cruise. It's been there forever. It's one of the most. It's one of those cornerstone attractions, right? But on the other hand, they went all in with 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, right? They were like, all right, we're not doing the submarine voyage again. We're going to do 20,000 Leagues, and we're going to build a fleet of Nautiluses. And I mean, they did not skimp on it, right?
No.
It absolutely looks like the real thing. Like there were just a bunch of Nautiluses in the lagoon.
There was a literal fleet.
Yeah.
Which
is amazing. Like, think about that. Struck such a chord with people that when they built Disneyland Paris and Disney Sea, those teams were like, dude, we got to do this again. Like, we're not going to build one that moves. Like, that was a big hassle for people getting in and out of a submarine with today's audiences. But like that being in the water in a land strikes such emotions and such a chord with people that it was like, all right, we need to bring this back in some way. And in Paris, they built it outside of Space Mountain in Discoveryland. The walkthrough doesn't really go in it, in case you were not aware. It's not where the path actually goes. But then in Tokyo, it's just sitting in the middle of Mysterious Island, and I think about that, and I'm like, how much cooler would it be if that moved? And I think back to my childhood when you see them just go through the lagoon, and it was cool. It's got to be the Nautilus. I understand the Jungle Cruise iconic, but the Nautilus is just very, very special. That's 5-2. So that's what 25-10. Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Next matchup. The People Mover versus Peter Pan's Flight, the pirate ship. Allison made a noise, so Allison has to start the round.
This is so tough. I love.
They're all going to be tough now.
Dang. I'm gonna have to, for sentimental reasons. I mean, I love that pirate ship, but I have to put my vote for the People Mover.
Axel.
People Mover.
Nick.
This is, again, one of those where I wasn't sure when I'd stop voting for the People Mover, but I think it's time to not vote for that moving box and vote for the iconic pirate ship of Peter Pan. I've been bashing you for round after round, pirate ship, but now I'm on your side. You fly. You're adorable. You're cute. I can't see out the front of you for all those reasons.
You sound like
pirate
a
ship.
casting agent in Hollywood. I love you, pirate ship. You're cute. You got the it factor. You're going to be big. I'm also taking the pirate ship. The People Mover is iconic because it is a kinetic item. It's not because of the shape of the item, right? It is just a box. The better People Mover car aesthetically was the Disneyland one. There is no argument to that because it had the roof and the colors, and it struck a chord. All of the power it has in Magic Kingdom is just from the fact that it is this kinetic energy above the land, which is not related to the design of the vehicle. So I'm picking Peter Pan. Jason?
So I have to go back to my childhood and what do I have vivid memories from and what wasn't open.
Well, they were
yet.
both open.
Yeah, I know. So that's a hard decision now to make. But all right. So my next criteria is which one of these would fit better in Epcot, and that's clearly the People Mover. There's no question that.
But like
the
current
People Mover is a
Epcot.
more Epcot.
UK Pavilion, they
Nothing
put
fits
this
in
in.
current Epcot. Nothing fits in current Epcot right now.
Well, lots of things fit. They cleared a lot of land.
Yeah, they have all that open space.
Fly
There's
right
so
through
much
the
room for
harmonious barge.
activities.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm burying you.
Oh gosh.
Bob Chapek to Interventions West. I'm burying you. All right, he picked People Mover. Eric.
So there's something I think is special about the People Mover that's unique, where you can, in the middle of a busy day of standing in line and going to all these attractions and riding all this stuff, where a family or a group of friends can sit facing each other and have a conversation for 10 minutes while you look down at the hustle and bustle below you. I think that's really cool. It's a cool way to take a break. I like it's covered so you get a little breeze. You know, the magnetic propulsion is really cool. It makes the People Mover really special. At the same time, when we talk about these iconic attractions, the vehicle for Peter Pan is so iconic, but it mixes being iconic with actually having a great ride experience. It's really, I said charming earlier. I can't, in good conscience, vote to get rid of the Peter Pan ride vehicle at this point. So I'm going to go with Peter Pan.
Wow. Marcy?
This pains me because I love both of these attractions. I love both of the ride vehicles. But if you were to take both of these vehicles off the track side by side and put them next to each other, the one that is going to be more, that stands out more and is more iconic to me is Peter Pan. It's the pirate ship.
So by a nose, that's Peter Pan. Only one vote separates them. Next matchup. The Big Thunder Mountain Railroad train versus the motor car from Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Jason, why don't you start us off?
This is a really hard one because both of these are classic. But if you look at the trains are so iconic. Versus, I know Mr. Toad's motor car is like iconic, but it's not as memorable as the Big Thunder Mountain train. I mean, you also didn't see it unless you went on the ride because it was blocked by the queue. So I'm going to have to go with the Big Thunder Mountain train.
I don't know. I have several scale models of the Mr. Toad car and none almost of Big Thunder. So, I don't know.
Well,
Eric?
This is very difficult for me. One of the shortcomings of the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad train is also, I think, one of its strengths, which is it tosses you around. So you're ready for that wildest ride, and you're sliding back and forth in this, bench that you're sitting in. It's kind of low tech. It has a great look to it. And then there's Mr. Toad. I just can't go against Mr. Toad right now. I go with the motor car.
Marcy?
This isn't that hard for me, honestly. I mean, I don't love either of these attractions. I mean, they were fun. They're both cool and iconic, but I don't love them. I mean, if I think of like a runaway train, you could go on something like that in a lot of different places. Same thing with like the Toad car. There's all these different car rides and things that have like that look to it. So it's hard because neither one really stands out. So I think I'm gonna have to go. I think I'm gonna have to go with the train.
Nick?
I have affinity towards trains, and the Big Thunder train is literally my favorite train in all of Walt Disney World, even more than the Walt Disney World Railroad. For whatever reason, visually, I like the way that train looks. I don't know if it is a little bit of its whimsy or something. I don't know what it is, but that train is just fantastic. And you know, I love Eric's point about that. Like it feels like a wild ride because of the design of the seats, and you're sliding around and everything, and you're not meant to like be strapped in. So the train.
Allison?
This one is tough, but I will be voting for Mr. Toad's car. I think it has a little bit more whimsy over the train, in my opinion.
Vote for the whimsy. Axel?
I already said it. There was a better version of the train in Paris, plus the other ride serves fish and chips in Paris. So Mr. Toad it is.
I'm the tiebreaker. I like the Big Thunder train a lot, but there are a lot of things that look like railroad trains. And the Mr. Toad car, I just think about which vehicle am I more excited to get, and it's Toad. Toad, despite originating in 1955, I know it changed over the years to the design now, but it always did the job correctly, right? It was the vehicle in the story. It is perfect. There are no questions to be asked. Yeah, we know in the Big Thunder story that the trains are possessed. That's why there's no conductor. Sure, whatever. I'm actually driving the car. This is what the movie's mostly about. He wants to drive a car. He gets a car. We're getting in the car. This is the proper vehicle for the Mr. Toad attraction. So when I think of Mr. Toad, what's in that? I think about driving the car. I want to drive the car. And you can drive the car. The steering wheel spins. And the best thing about it is the motion of the car, right? More so than the other Fantasyland dark rides, the sharp turns. So the fact that you just jerk that wheel and it spins while you turn that way and you can pretend you're the one that did that is perfection. That beyond just the design. They just look straight out of the movie. The Toad, I'm picking Toad.
So it's almost like the Millennium Falcon cockpit.
Yeah. I think it's the first iteration because out of all the Fantasyland dark rides in original opening day Disneyland, it is the one that made the most sense, right? Like, I know the flying pirate ship is in Peter Pan, but, like, that's not to scale, right? Like, the motor car is just about the right size and everything. Like, you could just be in the movie. It's the first time with complete sense you are in that film. There's nothing to take you out of the film, right? Other than maybe that everything's cardboard. But otherwise, there's nothing to take you out of it. All right. By a nose, it's Mr. Toad. Another close one. All right. Next up, the First Order Transport versus now the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I'll start us off. If this was the Teacups, this would be hard. But Mine Train is not iconic. It's a cool vehicle, but the Rise vehicle, again, has an animatronic that it is the character I'm most invested in the entire ride. Is sitting on the front of this thing. He's cute. He has a very active role in the story. He makes you feel like the vehicle really pulls you into the story because he's there the whole time interacting with stuff that's happening around you. So you really, I feel like it evokes more emotion than other rides because the vehicle is such an active participant. And it's an active participant because R5 is telling you how to feel. So, like, there's a sword going through the ceiling, and he's like, oh, no! You're like, oh, yeah, we better go! For all those reasons, Rise. The Rise vehicle, for sure. Nick?
Same. Rise vehicle. Not even close.
Allison?
Same. Rise vehicle.
Axel?
This is a choice between 7 actual dwarfs or 1 metal dwarf. I'm going to go with the metal dwarf.
Mecha dwarf. It's probably not politically correct. What'd you pick?
Rise.
Metal dwarf? Yeah.
Jason?
So your argument about the character that you're most invested in on the whole ride is sitting in the front of your ride vehicle really reminds me of E.T. at Universal.
Yeah, that's fair.
Say that.
That's fair, although that E.T. doesn't have a face. It's literally just a piece of metal that lifts
the
just
sheet
moves up
and down.
Right? No
But
one.
he's
I
still
hope I
there.
didn't ruin anyone's life because there is no ET face in the front of that. In the front of that bike.
Yeah.
I
never thought about it. I assumed there was.
Lauren's in tears now. I ruined Lauren's life. It's just like a metal rod that sticks up in a sheet. Yeah, that's all.
So sad.
That's all it is. Jason, what you
So
pick
yeah,
up?
that's why I'm voting for a Rise.
Okay. Eric?
Because of ET.
Rise.
Rise. Marcy?
Yeah, Rise for sure.
That'll teach you guys to call in. Rise with the blowout. You guys ain't cosmic raying us this year. In your face. There was a year, a bunch of them called in and made Cosmic Rays win Best Counter Service.
Over.
Was
it Satuli?
Beat Satuli and France and everything.
Best year of Josh's life.
Remember Grand Fiesta Tour? Didn't that make it?
Grand
really
Fiesta Tour. No, Grand Fiesta Tour made it like the Sweet 16 and we were stunned. Sorry, the Swell 16 for a legal reason. Next match. Walt Disney World Railroad Train versus the Fire Engine. I think this will be quick. Jason?
I'm going with the Railroad Train.
Marcy? Or maybe not.
I'm gonna go on the Fire Engine because I can sit closer to the front. I can't.
But
sit in
Eric
the front.
doesn't know anyone who's been on the Fire Engine.
I've been on the Fire Engine.
Fire Engine. Eric, what are you picking?
I look forward to photographic evidence of all these people riding the Fire Engine. The least iconic, since we're using I drink every time someone says iconic. It's the train.
Allison.
I just remember that me and Axel took like a mini tour of the fire truck, the fire engine, when we were doing our first live stream together, which is very nice. And we figured out that I'm in fact shorter than the tallest point of the fire engine vehicle.
You are indeed.
Which is why I'm voting it down. I'm voting
What?
for the train instead.
That'll teach you to be taller than Allison.
Yeah.
Everything. Axel.
I forgot it was actually taller than Allison, so I'm going to go with the Fire Engine.
Nick.
Choo choo! All aboard the train!
And then the kink boat.
All aboard!
You could have seen the kink boat from the railroad, so I'm voting for the railroad. I could be like Jason. I could come up with nonsensical reasons. All right, railroad. Next matchup. The test track car or sim car, depending on the era, versus the Viking ship. Everyone's booing the Viking. It killed the kink boat. Nick, get your revenge.
Sim car.
Sim car.
Sim car.
I'm also voting for the sim car. Justice. Justice for the kink boat.
Shouldn't even be here.
Axel.
Viking boat.
How dare you? Allison.
I'm voting for the Viking boat because the sim car killed my safari truck.
Wow, this is just getting vengeful now. All vengeful. Jason.
So this is hard because they're both in Epcot.
We know.
But only, and actually neither one of them were there when I was a kid, so that's another problem. I'm going to go with the sim car.
Eric.
I met my love on a cruise in Norway. I got to go with the Viking boat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Marcy, you're the tiebreaker.
She hates the
Viking,
sim car.
Viking,
Yeah.
Viking.
Yeah.
All right, that could be swayed, though. It's
That's a
4
close
votes
one.
to 3.
Yep.
Next matchup. The Backlot Tour Tram versus the Time Machine from Spaceship Earth. Jason, start us off.
This is absolutely the matchup of the night.
You've said
but
this
I've got to go with Spaceship Earth
because it's at Epcot.
Because it's at and Spaceship Earth is my favorite ride in the world. So
yeah. Marcy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Spaceship Earth.
Eric.
At the end of the day, as much as I love the backlot tram, it's just a tram with a cool paint job. And yeah, the little wall came up when you boarded, but I gotta go with, I guess I'm going with Spaceship Earth.
Allison.
I don't know. This is tough. I'm gonna vote. I know I didn't vote for it in the last round, but I think I'm gonna vote for the Spaceship Earth vehicle this time.
Axel.
I'm gonna vote for the thing that brought me the closest to Horizons, and that's the tram vehicle. Because I've never known Horizons, so I'm going with the tram.
It's true. Then they threw it out. Those jerks. That stupid hover ship was there. The Paris one, not at ours.
Paris.
Nick.
I'm a bit surprised here because the Spaceship Earth vehicles are really just like an indoor version of the People Mover, and we all voted against that.
I don't agree with that.
It's a bucket.
There's something aesthetically more pleasing about the Spaceship Earth vehicle. There's something about it. It's like it's so beautiful in its simplicity
octagonal
that
headrest.
It just really, I don't know, leaves an impression with people, I think.
Yeah, you think that's a more beautiful ride than?
No, I'm picking the tram. But I'm
saying then the People Mover. Then the People Mover. But I mean,
I think then the People Mover, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I think it's because it's right. Because think about that train, right? You have that weird, cool divider piece which has a cool design with those like breaks in it with the gray panels, and then the angular back with the headrests, and there's just something cool about it. It's
backlot sword, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm taking the tram also. Because again, I think it's in the name. Like it's the name of the attraction is the Backlot Studio Tour. It's the tram tour. Like it has to be. It was the star of the show, and it was such an important role in it. Like you have the live actor spieling to you, and then the tram pulls into Catastrophe Canyon, and the cars sway, and it was just a car, but it was such an important part of the vibe of that park. And the same reason everyone went on and on about the People Mover providing kinetic energy. Not only did the tram provide kinetic energy, but it looked really cool. Like the red with the yellow and black.
I love the stripes,
really just grabbed your eye. And while you're walking down Streets of America, you go, oh, that's cool. We should ride that. And yeah, I mean, at that point in time, it was pretty bad. So it did such a good job selling itself because it looked cool, even though a majority of the ride was bad by that point. But still, Spaceship Earth wins 4 votes to 3 on that one. Last matchup of the round. The Millennium Falcon Cockpit versus Dumbo, the Flying Elephant. Allison, you made noise.
I keep saying oohs.
Yep. Go ahead.
Even though man, this is really tough. I feel like there's like they're almost total opposites because this is this brand new kind of thing. There's a lot of stuff going on with the Falcon. It's super detailed and there's a lot of time and thought.
They both
that was
have
put
a
into
light
it.
speed lever.
Kind of, a little bit.
Dumbo, light speed.
Hold it down. No, hold it for longer.
Punch it, Timothy.
Nope. Just keep your hand on the handle. It'll go eventually. But but Dumbo is just
Dumbo's got it where it counts.
It's true.
Yeah.
I can do these all night.
I'm gonna vote. God, I'm gonna have to vote for Dumbo.
Fastest hunk of peanuts in the Storybook Circus. Made the circular run in less than 12 parts.
I feel like Dumbo and Magic Kingdom are almost one and the same. I have to vote for Dumbo.
Yeah, I get that. Axel?
I mean, I didn't vote it for last round, but how close can you get to a movie that you've seen in your childhood? Riding the actual elephant that was in the movie is just tops it all. So Dumbo.
Fun fact, it wasn't even really originally supposed to be Dumbo you rode on. It was supposed to be a pink elephant.
Oh.
That's why the original Disneyland poster, they're all pink. Nick?
Imagine the pink Millennium Falcon.
Maybe for its 25th anniversary.
Oh, good.
The Millennium Falcon. I liked your kind of juxtaposition, Allison, like the new versus the old. Like that, it is an interesting matchup. But I have to go for the new and the technology and the Millennium Falcon, and I know part of that is being a Star Wars fan, and that's going to sway my vote here. But I can't help feeling amazing every time I'm in that cockpit and flying the Falcon.
Jason?
I agree with Nick. I think it's the Falcon.
Get lower every time?
He does get lower every time. Eric?
That's because I'm leaning back. Sorry.
He's falling asleep.
Past my bedtime.
Eric?
Eric is falling asleep as well.
I think the Millennium Falcon is superior in every single way except cuteness. So I'm going to go with the Falcon.
Marcy?
This tournament is about iconic ride vehicles. If you were to show somebody who had never been to Walt Disney World
it's not the name
a picture of the Millennium Falcon and a picture of a Dumbo, they're going to say, oh, Dumbo.
They're going to recognize the Millennium Falcon.
I think Jason
They are,
makes a
but you're
fair
going
point.
to, if you ask them which one represents Walt Disney World, they're going to pick Dumbo because that's the most iconic attraction
That's not the
vehicle.
name
So
of the
I'm
If they've
definitely
never
going-
been there, if they've never
What?
been there,
I thought
The
it was the
tournament
most
is
iconic.
ride vehicles, not most iconic. It's ride vehicles. It's to determine the best ride vehicle. How iconic it is definitely factors into the argument, but it's not the only factor. This isn't the tournament to determine the most iconic ride vehicle. It's to determine the best,
Well,
which
then
I think
I've been
is
doing this
how
wrong the whole
iconic is
time,
it? Does
because I thought it
fit in
was-
the story? Does it accomplish what it's supposed to in the story? Is the design well done? How
Marcy
badly
wasn't
do
aware of
people
these
want to
rules.
ride it?
Well,
I think all of those things have to be.
They made two Dumbos. They made two of them for a reason.
We're-
Just because a ride has
I
bad
mean-
capacity doesn't make it better.
We're
honestly,
already at
how
4
many,
votes for
How many
Dumbo,
Millennium
right?
Falcons are there? Aren't there 4 Millennium Falcons?
There are carousels of Falcons. I forget. I think there's actually more Falcons.
Yeah.
I think there's more cockpits. Off the top of my head, I believe there's more cockpits. I'll blew someone's mind. No one knows how that ride works. Someone's gonna look it up and be like, "Really? That the cockpit leaves? What?"
That one.
You knew that? Okay.
Yeah.
But you didn't know ET was a rod.
No, I didn't. That was really sad.
Bad people who did that to E.T.
Marcy, please go. I'm sorry, Marcy. We commandeered that.
Dumbo.
Well, then I've literally been doing this wrong the entire time then, because I thought we were doing
I mean,
the
you
most
can
iconic
use that to
ride
determine
vehicle.
your pick. I just want to
Yeah.
clarify that shouldn't be the only reason you pick, but you can be your main reason for a particular vehicle.
But that would have changed the whole trajectory of a bunch of stuff I
Well,
voted
it's too late now.
Let's start all over.
Right now?
Fine. I'm just gonna do what I've been doing then, because I think Dumbo's the most iconic, and so that's what I'm gonna choose.
That's fair. Did everyone go? Did I go yet? I didn't go yet.
No.
This is hard because again, Dumbo is like the defining ride vehicle of all the Disney parks in the world. But on the other hand, Walt Disney Imagineering went through the process of creating the interior of the most famous vessel or vehicle in all of movie history, right? And so more of the world, I mean, everyone knows Dumbo, but I think more of the world wants to sit in a Millennium Falcon cockpit. Just because something's newer doesn't necessarily make it worse. I want to clarify that. And I know people say, oh, on Twitter you always yell about new stuff. Yeah, because most of the new stuff is junk. And Falcon is not my favorite ride, but that cockpit is one of the most amazing vehicles. The technology behind it is insane, even though we really can't qualify that as part of the tournament. But that cockpit, I get the emotional connection people have with Dumbo, but I think people of a next generation will have that connection to that Falcon cockpit. I just think about like the first time we went on, like just everyone gasped. We had people that weren't even Star Wars fans in our group that just like, oh, this is cool. And I think there's something to that. I'm going to vote Falcon. I think there's something to be said.
So 4-3?
4-3. So quick recap before we let you call in. We put the number up already. We got Nautilus 25-10 over Jungle Cruise. People Mover, no, Peter Pan over People Mover. These are all close. Toad Car over Big Thunder Mountain Train. This one wasn't. Rise 35-0 over Mine Train. The Walt Disney World Railroad over the Fire Truck. The Viking Ship barely over the Test Track Sim Car. Spaceship Earth barely over the Backlot Tour Tram. And the Millennium Falcon cockpit barely over Dumbo the Flying Elephant. So call in now.
Did Eric choose Dumbo or Millennium Falcon?
It's 4-3. I don't know who picked
I chose Millennium Falcon.
Okay, no.
It's 4-3. Yeah. All right, so we're going to do a couple things in the meantime while you guys are calling. And the first thing is to find out what the incorrect fact of the week is. Disney ride vehicles shaped like rockets are capable of actual space travel. They all blow out the roof, though.
Nah.
Oh. Oh, no.
Not all of them.
I don't think that one's supposed to fly. I think that one just went back to the future. Oh, boy. Nick!
Yo.
It's time. Wonderful World of Psychoticon.
Walt Disney presents...
Gonna warn you, they're not great this week.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome. Go take a little break, come back, and watch the rest of our voting when this is done.
Told people to shut off the show.
Don't
Not
do
shut it
that.
off, just like pause it, walk away, go to the bathroom. I don't know.
Don't pause it.
No.
Then you have to rewatch this part anyway. Just let it run.
Okay. New Expedition Everest 15th anniversary merchandise arrives at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Bill said, I conquered Expedition Everest? Boring. How about I peed a little on Expedition Everest? Bill, that was last week. We talked about that.
I want a shirt that says I peed a little.
Comments.
It's the Peter Pan split.
Next one, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, now loading every row. A DK row, don't worry, the stupid plexiglass dividers before you get on the train magically protect you. It's a magical place after all. Just like social distancing before you sit elbow to elbow on a plane.
Fly Delta.
Yeah. This next one, not necessarily psychotic. I just don't know if she's serious or not. Blue sheeting added to new section of Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Afia, I love Epcot.
Heart.
I don't. Yeah, her. I don't know if she's being sarcastic or not. I can't tell.
Maybe she really likes blue sheeting.
She might. She really might. Interventions West nearly completely demolished at Epcot. Alex wrote, I mean, do they really intend to have Epcot looking this way when the 50th starts later this year?
Yes.
Yes, they do. They do. Sorry, Alex. This next one, I only put this one in here so I could talk about myself. Mardi Gras 2021 International Flavors of Carnival extended till April 11th at Universal. Good question, but I have you beat. I still have some leftover punches in my Busch Gardens Food Festival lanyard from last year that got stopped when the shutdown happened. Will they honor them? Because they're running the festival right now again.
You probably have to go to guest relations and they just give you new ones or a refund.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I still have California Adventure Food and Wine.
Do you really?
Yeah, I have a full lanyard.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just going to keep it.
Cool, yeah. First 50th anniversary decoration placed on Cinderella's castle. Michael wrote, I'm disappointed in Disney. I was totally looking forward to a golden castle cake.
I would have liked that too.
Yep. Last one, work begins on berm for potential third park at Disneyland Paris. Disneyland Paris' third park, Cast-Off Quay, or Key, I guess, featuring phantasmic barges, Primeval Whirl, and many other discarded or classic beloved attractions. Park will open with the year-long trashiest celebration on Earth. What do you think, Axel?
Absolutely right. It'll be better than the Studios Park when it opens, at least.
So there you go.
That's it.
Check out the comments.
Jason, are the phone lines closed? Are we in?
They're not closed because
people still
we
calling?
still have 2 more rounds to go. But
well, I mean for the
we
round.
can cut it off now.
Yeah, stop the round.
Yeah.
Stop the
round.
round.
All right, stop the round. Stop it. Just stop.
It's stopped.
I guess. I don't know.
It's
All right.
It's motionless.
I don't know if there's people still on hold. I don't know what's going on, but whatever.
That's what I'm asking.
Nothing has been swayed. So we got 3 calls for the People Mover, but then we also got 3 calls for the pirate ship. So that didn't sway that matchup at all.
Yeah.
We got a call for Dumbo, but then we got 2 calls for the Falcon cockpit.
Wow.
Let's see, and then we got 2 calls for the Sim car, but we got 3 calls for the Viking ship. So again, the audience is pretty split on this, and that's the end. So yeah, nothing has changed. I mean, the scores have changed, but no matchups have changed.
Wow.
Everything is as it is.
All right, so let me give people the final results then again. Oh no, let's just move on. They'll see him in the round. No, you need time.
It's only a second.
She needs time. All right, I'll recap. The Nautilus defeated Jungle Cruise Boat. Peter Pan's Flight defeated the People Mover car. The Mr. Toad car beat Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Rise of the Resistance crushed the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. The Walt Disney World Railroad train beat the Fire Engine. The Viking ship beat the Sim car. The Spaceship Earth Time Machine defeated the Backlot Tour Tram. And the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run cockpit defeated Dumbo the Flying Elephant. That'll take us into the round of 8. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, let's get going. First matchup, what do we got? The Nautilus from 20K versus the Peter Pan pirate ship. Marcy, why don't you start us off?
I'm gonna go with Peter Pan.
Eric?
I mean, the Nautilus is so innovative. I'm not aware of anywhere else that even attempts to do this, to put you in a submarine.
Disney?
I'm sure they do. I lived on a submarine once. But I have to go with the Nautilus. I love the Peter Pan ride vehicle, but the Nautilus is so innovative and so different from everything else that you'll see that I think it needs at least a vote from me.
Okay. Jason?
Yeah, this is the time. I mean, I've been trying to make Peter Pan lose for the whole tournament now. This is absolutely the time for Peter Pan to lose.
All right. Allison?
Everybody hates on the Peter Pan ship. I really like it.
I don't think we hated on it. It's made it this far.
Hating on it.
There's only 8 left.
I have to vote for the Peter Pan. I love it.
Wow. Axel?
Well, now I know that Jason wants it to lose, and I'm going to go with the Peter Pan ship.
Wow.
Good reason. Nick?
I think it's comical when you put up the pictures and like, hey, which one would you rather ride? Which one's cooler? The Nautilus. It's not even
That's
close.
mean, though.
That's mean.
They're both absolutely iconic and things people want to get on board.
Sure.
And, this is really hard, but I think another thing I thought of why the Nautilus is special. If you look at every other ride vehicle in this park in October of 71, they all look like they're from 1971. The Nautilus looks like it's from a whole different time period. Like the quality level, like it looks like a real thing. It's in Fantasyland, but it looks like the real thing. Like the pirate ship's kind of all the Fantasyland rides are kind of cartoony. You know, and then you think about stuff in the rest of the park. It's, you know, there's a race car, which isn't very exciting. Skyway bucket's just a bucket. Thinking that 50 years ago that vehicle was built is insane. I'm going with the Nautilus. That's a four votes to 3, so it's very close. Next matchup. The Mr. Toad motor car versus the First Order prisoner transport. Both of these end up in jail at some point. Allison, go ahead.
That's true. I forgot about that. I'm going for the prisoner transport. Anything that has an animatronic that's sitting in front of you is probably going to get my vote.
Axel?
I'm going to go with Mr. Toad.
Because you like the restaurant?
No, because I would hate for 2 Star Wars rides to be in the final.
Oh.
Nick?
I know, I was thinking the same thing.
I think for all of Galaxy's Edge is mistakes.
Yeah.
The vehicles are not.
Yeah, I know. I can't punish it just because there's another Star Wars one on the other side. So the Rise vehicle.
This is so hard. I love both of these. I don't know. I don't know. I did not expect this match.
You're going to dance on Mr. Toad's grave if you vote against him.
I love them both. I think about my thing. I know Marcy said the iconic thing. Jason just likes stuff from Epcot. My thing generally is how excited are you to get in the vehicle, not for the ride, but just to sit in the vehicle. And I think that's a good barometer on how good is the design, does it fit the story, how much of the fun of the ride does the vehicle add to. And I think for both of them, it is the primary factor in both of the rides. And so I don't.
Which one would you get in first? If they were both sitting outside, which one would you go to?
I would jump off the cliff in between both of them. then choose one of my children. I'm gonna go with Rise. I'm gonna go with Rise. The animatronics, it just really adds something. Jason.
This is really difficult, but I think here's I'm looking ahead, and in the other part of this round, the Falcon goes up against Spaceship Earth, and I'm gonna vote for Spaceship Earth over there, and so I'm gonna vote for Rise here to kind of balance it out.
Eric, go ahead.
This is sad. The amount of craftsmanship that went into these motor cars is impressive. They all feel like they're handmade. They were all slightly different from one another. It added to the whimsy of the ride.
Hey, some of the R5s are blue and some are orange.
Okay. The things they were able to do with the Rise vehicle, I mean, even when you see the empty ones dancing through the room when you're like starting off the ride and all that, it's really cool. It's really immersive. It's the technology doesn't necessarily overwhelm the ride vehicle. So, but it's so technologically advanced. I have to go with Rise. I can't believe I'm doing this with Rise.
Yeah. Marcy?
Yeah, Rise is just so different and really, really neat. And then I like the technology. I think it's really cool. It's different than anything I've ever been on.
That's 30-5 over Toad. It's kind of a blowout. All right, next matchup. The Walt Disney World Railroad train versus this goddamn Viking ship. Nick, go ahead.
You know, yeah. You know what? Viking ship.
Come on! What are you doing?
I'm sorry. Keel vote, but I love that Viking ship. And I'm jumping on the Viking. This is hard for me because I told you throughout the whole thing.
You think this boat is one of the top 4 vehicles in the history of Walt Disney World?
I really do. Getting on the vote. Is this my first bad vote of the entire...
No, because I'm taking the Viking ship.
You are! Yeah! The Viking ship has craftsmanship. Talk about craftsmanship.
The Walt Disney World Railroad is my least favorite of the railroads in the world.
Thank you.
Honestly.
Well,
it's part of the problem. This is the first time, though. I think it's the first time I voted for the Viking ship in the whole thing.
I think it might be.
I don't know. Maybe I picked it over the Swan boat. I don't know. But I'm taking the Viking ship.
Craftsmanship. Forget the motor car from Toad.
Craftsmanship.
No. I'm talking about, like, if people talk about the Toad car, yes, fine. But this is like, you know.
The Viking ship?
Yeah.
They're mold. It's a mold.
Hand carved.
Stop. It was 80 not 88.
Ruining my illusions.
It was out of a mold. Axel.
I don't think we need to troll around with this, but Viking ship.
I see what you did there. It almost makes me want to. It almost sways me towards the.
But she
Viking
is
ship.
shorter than the highest point on the Viking.
That is true. When you see the train, you think of Walt Disney himself. So I'm gonna vote for the train.
I can give you some things that when you board that boat, you think of Walt Disney as well.
Walt Disney went to Norway.
Yes.
That's how we'll come up with a backstory the same way the Riviera Resort did. Walt Disney went to a place. That's the theme.
It was in Norway that he heard for the very first time. No late checkouts.
He went to a Hooters when he was in France. This is it. Eric, go ahead. Oh no.
Oh no, Eric.
Yeah!
Picture of the
It's
boat.
a good picture.
It is. I vote for the picture.
It's a weird-looking railroad. All right, Jason's Viking ship, so I'm just going to mark that.
No, actually, I'm not.
What?
I'm not.
The train goes to Epcot?
You're voting against Epcot?
It's the Walt Disney World Railroad, for crying out loud. Plus, if you sit in the front row of the Viking ship, you can't see out the front of the ride vehicle.
If you sit in the front row of the train, you can't see out the front of the ride vehicle. He's like, damn, he's right. He's like, oh, it's fine.
like
You can
the
have your
railroad.
train. Marcy, go ahead.
I'm doing Viking ship.
Yeah. It's 5-2. All right, last match of the round. The Spaceship Earth Time Machine. Lauren fell asleep. Spaceship Earth Time Machine versus the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Allison, start us off.
I still feel a little bitter about the Falcon beating at my
It's an
choice last
Osprey.
time. Yeah. But you know, you can't deny that it is clearly one of the greatest ride vehicles that are in the park. Did the Osprey agree, or they feel
The Osprey, the
differently?
birds want the Falcon.
The birds.
so,
I
yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they get a vote, or
No,
they don't get a vote?
No, they're just anxiously waiting to hear your vote.
Oh, okay. So I vote for whatever the birds want.
So the Falcon?
Yeah.
Okay. Axel?
I'm going to go with the thing where you can touch and decide your future. So I'm going to go with Spaceship Earth.
Oh, it could have been either one. Nick?
Falcon.
I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to take the Falcon.
No.
I can't believe this, but it's just perfection. Like getting to pull it, you pull the lever, and
But it's not
the seats.
teal.
The seats are correct. It's a themed seat. It's not even Rise. The seat's kind of plain.
The seats in Spaceship Earth are correct.
There's not. Think how many rides do you get to sit alone? Like, you're not sitting on a bench with other people. You have your own seat separated. You have your own job. You have your own little corner of the vehicle that's like yours to play with.
You pretty much do. I do on Spaceship Earth all the time.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I'm taking it. Maybe if the touchscreen wasn't on it, I'm taking the Falcon. Jason,
Well, then take the old version, just like you take the old version of the test track.
That's still Falcon.
You told me you could have the old version. You
He's
could
so
have the
mad.
version without the touchscreen.
It's a cool vehicle.
You can
I'm
have
sorry.
the version without the touchscreen.
It's a cool vehicle. It's really perfect. I'm sorry, Jason. You go ahead now. Pick Spaceship Earth. Go ahead.
Spaceship Earth.
It's not over yet. There's 2 more people still have to vote. Go either way.
I thought he was going to pick Falcon,
Eric?
actually.
No.
This is difficult. Spaceship Earth, I will say, is uncomfortable. It's clunky. It breaks down a lot. Half the screens don't work, or the color is off on them. They're kind of junky. I still like them. It's still a cool ride system, but I just don't think it even approaches Millennium Falcon as a ride vehicle. Now, you can argue that Smuggler's Run is not a great ride experience or whatever, but I
think
just
all
think
7
if we're
people on
talking
this
ride
panel
vehicle, yeah. If you're just talking about ride vehicle, it's Millennium Falcon.
Marcy.
The interior of the Falcon is amazing, but it's a simulator, and you only see 50% of the ride. Like, you don't see the exterior. You only see the interior.
The interior of
So
Spaceship Earth is a screen and a rubber floor mat.
But what a floor mat it is!
What a floor mat.
But the point is, you can see the outside of your ride vehicle when you get in.
And it's not a simulator. I can't vote for a simulator to win this. I mean, like, to advance. So I'm gonna vote for Spaceship Earth.
It's not a plain simulator car, though, right? I mean, that's the difference.
But why is seeing the outside of the vehicle? Why does that
You don't
put
need to
it
see
over
the outside.
edge?
You know what the outside is.
Yeah. Why
No,
would that
the outside of
be?
a simulator is basically a box. I mean,
But you don't
it's
see that.
looking
Like Star
at-
Tours, you can see it. You don't see it on Falcon because it is ingeniously designed. You are fully immersed. You have no idea that you're not really in the ship.
But that's part of the ride. That's my point. Is like that. Like a simulator is basically a box with an interior, and that's part of the ride vehicle, whether you can see it or not. So
Arguing
you're really
that the
only
Spaceship Earth
you're basically
vehicle has,
voting
like,
for
an
half
interior
of
and
a vehicle
exterior.
because you're only voting for the interior.
It's nuts. All right, it's four votes to 3. All right, voting's open. Put the number up. While you guys are figuring that out, it's time to go back to the
Please
March.
call in
Nope.
for Spaceship Earth.
What? Don't announce
call in
everyone.
for
Tell me at
Spaceship
the
Earth.
end. Take the calls. Put the phone number up. And while you guys are calling in, we have to go back to our March Tragic tournament.
Oh.
Yes. So this tournament is to decide what will be the next T-shirt from the carousel of products. These are shirt ideas that Disney would never make, but we would. And so we brought it back with the carousel of products this time around, and we're going to decide what gets made.
And there's a new entry, the kink boats.
No, it's not fair. It's not fair at this point to enter the kink boat. It's too fresh and new.
Not a wild card? We didn't have a
Always
wild
fresh.
card for
Certainly
this?
is fresh.
The kink boat's wild, all right. Exciting and new. All right, so the first matchup is I'm Just Here for the Fountain versus the Innoventions Through the Years. This is the shirt where we have like Communicore, Innoventions, and then it's rubble going across the building. Which one of these do we like? This is less formal.
I still like the rubble, the Communicore.
You like the rubble?
Yeah.
I like the rubble shirt too.
Yeah.
Does everyone like the rubble shirt?
I'm
You buy a
just
rubble
the
shirt?
Innoventions Through the Years,
It's the
right?
building, like a straight view of the building, but it's through time.
Yeah.
So it starts as like beige, and then goes like the Innoventions colors, and has like the tower, and then at the end it's just rubble.
Okay, I
'cause
like
that's-
that
It's
one.
like, it's like traveling through time.
Okay.
The building.
I'm still going for the fountain.
You like the fountain?
I like the fountain.
What is the chat? I don't know what the chat.
I like the fountain
People
also.
are writing rubble.
They're writing intervention.
All right, Innoventions it is. I'm gonna write that down. All right, the next matchup is the I Wish I Was in Tokyo Instead versus Nick's Maxi Van Service.
Maxi van.
Do we? What are our images? Is it just like Nick's face with the maxi?
Oh, it's not
van?
designed yet. We don't design these until
Oh.
an idea wins.
Yeah.
It's got to be Maxi Van.
You just said no one needs a shirt with Nick's face on it. Well, now I'm voting.
Yeah,
for
that's
Maxi
very
Van.
true.
Just because we're gonna force the
I'm
whole
voting
staff
for
to wear them,
Tokyo.
and Lauren will have to wear a shirt with Nick's face.
So good.
All right,
I'm
Maxi
voting
Van.
for Tokyo. Tokyo.
Too late, Maxi Van. Next mixed matchup: the Leva Legacy Ladder Company versus the new Epcot Skyline, which would have the big box for Guardians, the Stargate, and Spaceship Earth. All these things in silhouette of the new Epcot Skyline.
I'm a sucker for Skyline.
I like the ladder because it's applicable to me in a lot of other
The ladder?
situations.
I thought you were saying you like
That
the
would
ladder
just-
is in the second one I said, and
Yeah,
then I
me
thought
too.
about it and remembered that one of them was literally a ladder. Yeah.
The chat mostly says ladder.
You think that's mostly ladder? I think it's Skyline. They're
Ladder,
like two.
Skyline, ladder.
It's split.
Ladder,
Yeah, it
ladder,
is.
Skyline,
There's a lot of
ladder.
ladder. No, the same person keeps writing ladder. Kate just keeps writing ladder. Don't cheat, Kate. Just write it once.
Skyline it is.
Skyline.
I guess so.
All because Kate cheated. Everyone in the chat's gonna get mad at Kate. It'll always be Lake Buena Vista Shopping Village to me versus Good Legs No Voice. Perfect. The mermaid shirt.
Shopping Village.
Shopping Village.
Yeah.
Shopping.
Yeah, I'm going with Shopping Village too.
The chat says ladder.
I know they're behind.
They're still
They're
going
behind a
ladder.
bit. They're behind a bit.
The other one's
There's a
funny,
lot of
but
legs.
could be problematic.
Oh no, Village. Yeah, Village. The Village. All right, next matchup: the most scaled-back celebration on Earth versus I went to the reimagined Epcot and all I got was this fountain.
Oh, man, they're both good. I like the scaled back celebration. It's like, it's a little like, it could get dated, but I like it a lot.
Well, it's an 18-month celebration. You have
Yeah.
lots
Oh,
of
yeah,
chances
that's true.
to wear it.
Yeah, I like the scaled back celebration.
Celebration here. The
Yeah,
chat
I
says,
like
yeah.
Scaled, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The Eye Projector Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Or Walt would be disappointed. Both of these could be Runaway Railway shirts. So,
Projector.
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 I vote for Walt.
Walt would be disappointed. He's such a.
You're not mic'd. Stop yelling things.
Laurent's voting for Walt.
I like Walt too.
Chat, there's a lot of Walt in the chat.
There is.
Walt, all right. Walt it is. That's right, I own the company. I just make the shirt. I left my heart in the Great Movie Ride versus Because of Money.
Ooh, both good.
Because
Because
money.
Why don't you just combine them?
What? I left
I
my
left
heart
my
in the
heart
Great
in the
Movie
Great
Ride
Movie Ride
because
because
money?
money. The Great Movie Ride was killed because money.
For now, the chat is because money.
They want this money. They're going to
Because
end up
money.
making this money shirt win again. We'll have to make it this time. All right, next up, Chapek All Along or 12 Flags over Epcot.
Oh, that's a hard one.
12 flags.
I really want the 12 flags.
12 flags.
Yeah. I want
12
both
flags.
Of those, though.
Yeah.
I'd
No
wear
flags.
both of those, but
No,
12
I'd rather have a
flags.
fire Chapek shirt. That's the one we should wear.
Hashtag.
Hashtag fire
Yeah.
Chapek. But the 12, I think the 12 flags.
That's mean, Tom.
The chat's a great. Shut up, Disney. We just want you to know you're mean.
12 flags.
12 flags. All right, the person from Disney went to bed. It's 11:43.
Nah.
They're like, yeah, I watched the whole show last night. No, I didn't say anything. He played the head again, but he didn't say anything. All right. If I get trespassed, you'll know why.
Oh no.
That's okay. We're not moving on. That's the whole round. So that's it. Next week we'll come back. This is going for 2 more weeks. This tournament. So, all All right, with that out of the way, Jason, I need an update.
All right, close the phone lines.
And play the music.
It sounds like you're all doing
Here's the
vastly
update.
different songs.
Because none of
Here's
us
the
remember
update.
it.
We got 2 calls for the Walt Disney World Railroad, but that's not enough. The Viking ship still wins.
Wow.
No one apparently cares about Mr. Toad's motor car because no one called in for him. We got 2 call-ins for the Peter Pan's Flight pirate ship, but we got 1 call-in for the Nautilus, so the Nautilus still wins. And then we got 4 call-ins for Spaceship Earth Time Machine, and only 1 call-in for the Falcon Cockpit. So the Spaceship Earth Time Machine wins by a score of 23 to 22.
Can we verify that?
Oh my goodness.
I'm suspicious of that
Jason's face right now. No.
I mean,
people in the
I don't know
chat,
how
did
you can
4 of you
verify.
actually call in for Spaceship Earth? I want to know who it was. I want names. Names. Forget it. All right, it's fine. So
That's
wait, so
crazy.
Spaceship Earth is in.
That's insane.
I mean, it was close. It wouldn't take a lot of calls. So what? Spaceship Earth and Viking ship, right?
Spaceship Earth and Viking ship are the next
And Nautilus.
next matchups there,
And Nautilus and Rise.
and the prisoner transport. Yep.
All right.
Somebody said it was Jason all
All
along.
All right, let's do it. The Phantasmic Four. Let's go. First matchup. The Nautilus versus the First Order prisoner transport. Marcy, why don't you start us off?
I'm gonna go with the Nautilus.
Eric.
I can't believe this. These are the 2 that probably should be facing off in the finals.
Well, that's not how brackets work.
I know. Well, there have been concerns expressed on Park Center about how this tournament was seeded in the first place, but
Every year. They complain every year.
Of course. That is their job. Wow, I can't believe I'm going to do it. I'm pulling the lever for the Nautilus.
Wow. Jason?
I'm going with the Nautilus. I mean, this one's not even that difficult, really. It's Nautilus all the way.
Well, Allison?
I know I've voted against it several times, but I think that in the end, between these 2, I'm going to vote for the Nautilus.
Wow. Axel.
God, we'll have a tale to tell you, lads. We'll have a tale or 2. Let's go with the Nautilus.
Nights like this on the old kink boat. Nick.
Yeah, definitely voting for the Nautilus. As much as I love Star Wars,
wow,
it's not even close in my mind.
The Nautilus is the vehicle to beat. There's a reason we made this the 1 seed, and it was the first thing I wrote on the paper. It's a submarine. It looks like the most iconic submarine of all time, and it is beautiful, and it is burned in everyone's head. There's a chance at some point in your life after you've been on Rise years later, someone's like, "Oh, you go on that Star Wars ride?" Yeah, you sat in I don't know what it was. It was like a box, and there was a robot on it. I don't remember really what it looked like.
It was the UPCHARGE.
There you go. But no one who ever saw a Nautilus in a lagoon is ever going to not remember what that thing looked like. And yeah, that's a blowout. That is 35-0 for the Nautilus. Next matchup. The Spaceship Earth Time Machine versus this stupid thing. The Viking ship. Still in this. The final 4. This Viking ship. Nick, why don't you pick something?
I'm voting for the stupid thing. Let's sail that boat into the finals.
Wow. I am going with Spaceship Earth at this point. You guys took away my cockpit, so Spaceship Earth is definitely better than the Viking ship. Axel?
Spaceship Earth turns backwards.
Oh no.
So does...
Well, it doesn't turn, it slides.
It slides.
It doesn't turn.
Slide
Yeah.
to the
See,
left.
that's the key difference.
Slide to the right.
Cooler.
Everybody watch the film.
But on the Lauren, somebody broke Lauren.
Oh.
On the other hand, Spaceship
whole
Earth talks to me in English, French, German, and
Not
whatever
Norwegian,
language.
though.
Not Norwegian.
Down to the North Sea with you.
So let's do Spaceship Earth.
Spaceship Earth. Allison?
I'm feeling kind of bitter about both of these. I really am.
Because they're both BS.
Why are both of these in the last four?
Jason,
I don't
yeah,
understand. I mean, they're
It's
not
a
terrible. They shouldn't be in the top four.
Don't worry, the Nautilus is
Yeah,
going to
it's a
wreck whatever, so.
God, Spaceship Earth.
Jason.
This is a 7-6 matchup. I mean, these are two mediocre teams, right? But somehow they made it. Because all of you people voted against the Walt Disney World Railroad is really the problem. But anyway, these are both in Epcot, so I'm happy that either one of these is here in the Fantastic Four. Wait, Phantasmic Four?
Phantasmic Four.
Fantastic?
It's okay, they own both.
Phantasmic Four?
It's fine.
But Spaceship Earth is still my favorite ride, so I'm going with Spaceship Earth.
Eric.
I can't believe we're here. I can't believe these two ride vehicles made it. I like them both. Neither of them are particularly special, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the boat. I'm gonna go with Norway boat.
Marcy.
I love Spaceship Earth, and there's nothing that's that special about the boat except for like the design on the front of it. So I'm definitely gonna go with Spaceship Earth.
There's nothing special about the boat except for the design, so I'm voting for the box that I sit in that moves around.
Hand carved. Hand
All right.
That
Because
one
it's the
thing on the
design
front
of the
boat,
box.
I'm saying.
So it's going to be, we're going to keep moving. It's going to be hard to sway the Nautilus matchup because it's 35-0, so a lot of you would have to call, but I assume a number of you have Rise. The other matchup is going to be 25-10 for Spaceship Earth. More of a chance to sway that, I suppose. So what we're going to do is take a commercial break. You have the whole commercial break to call in, and when we come back, the final matchup in the tournament. Stick around.
Something has stopped us now. I'll tell you how. We're gonna live on through it. Let's stay inside and spend our time taking things in stride. Good times aren't held at bay. Just stay away from the population and wash your hands to kill off those bacterial strands. Now we're trying to keep a little distance. It's for sure our best resistance to making things a whole lot worse. Come on, kids, let's all go down to the sink. Wash those grubby little hands of yours. 20 seconds. You never know, it might just save a life. Something has stopped us now, but don't you fret, it'll for sure get better. We'll soon be hand in hand, going down to Disneyland. Oh, won't that be so grand, though something has stopped us now. Ah-cha-cha.
In an effort to streamline the theme park experience, we at Disney are unveiling a new version of the Walt Disney World Vacation. Faster, more efficient, perfect for those with limited days off. It's Disney's Park Express service. A trackless ride vehicle will pick you up at Orlando International Airport. Just stow your luggage where we would usually put a droid. Your transport will then whisk you down I-4, past our beautifully repainted arches to the Walt Disney World Resort. Your vehicle will use a priority access lane to go through temperature checks and security before taking you inside each park. At each park, the Unthemed Personal Conveyance Holding Acceptable Rich Guests Express, or UPCHARGE for short, will skip ahead of ride vehicles at our most popular attractions, taking you through all of the park's experiences in record time.
We rode everything in the Magic Kingdom in 45 minutes. It turns out the time you actually spend on rides in a given day doesn't amount to much.
Upon arrival at your second park, the upcharge can break in half, with the front half pulling up to the urinals, while the back of the car pulls into bathroom stalls. You might want to seat the misses in the back. Then, it's a quick breeze through all 3 rides at Epcot. Following your second park, a Hollywood Brown Derby meal will be served on board as you travel beneath the Skyliner path to Hollywood Studios. Then, it's time for all the rides in Hollywood Studios in under 15 minutes. Sadly, the upcharge doesn't have spring action shooters for Toy Story Mania, but you can just pretend to sling webs with Tom Holland instead. Last but not least, the experience ends at Disney's Animal Kingdom, culminating in a trip on Expedition Everest. On the trip home, the upcharge will drop you off at the World of Disney store to shop, and you can grab a bite at Disney Springs.
Okay, but how do we get home?
That's your own problem. Disney's Park Express service begins at just $3,999.95 per guest. You can also upgrade to Park Express Plus, which gets you through all of the rides at double the intended speed. Walt Disney World Resort.
Money, please. Money, please.
I have lower profits and I need cash now.
Call Gavin Newsom. Open the theme parks now. Open the theme parks now.
My salary is restored, but I need cash now.
Call Gavin Newsom. Open the theme parks now. Open the theme parks now.
I fired thousands, I'll can you too. All our layoffs, I will blame on you. Only care about me, and I need cash now.
Call Gavin Newsom. Open the theme parks now.
Open theme parks now.
Open theme parks now.
Right now.
Hi everyone, I'm Cosmic Chris Reed, inviting you to join my co-hosts and I every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern on WDW Entertainment as we chat Disney park memories, food, and Imagineer our own attractions, restaurants, hotels, and more. Share your stories with us in the YouTube chat. Cosmic Read Live, every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on WDW Entertainment.
Welcome back aboard the Kink Boat, everybody. Hit that like button if you like the Kink Boat. What's being released this week on Nintendo Switch? This week, Entertainment Monopoly.
I love how we're keeping the Switch thing going.
Just comment about show segments on the air. It's fine. I like this segment. This is a good segment. It turns out there are a lot of games you can parody in relation to the Walt Disney Company.
I thought we were just doing that one.
There is someone in the audience, and she knows who she is, who really resents the Nintendo Switch. She's like, "Why do you keep doing it?" I was like, "People like it. It's funny. So I don't get it." I was like, "You don't play video games. It's too bad." I think other people really like it. We're gonna keep doing it. Okay. It is time for the Oh, well, hold on. I jumped the gun. Jason, do we have any changes?
We do not have any changes. We got a call for the Viking ship, but that's not enough.
Okay, then play the intro. It's time for the final match. There's no music. All right.
It was still
You
thrilling.
tried. A for effort. Just show the bird. Show the bird.
Show the bird, show the bird.
The birds are very excited. They're on the edge of their nests. All right. The championship match is the Nautilus from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea in the Magic Kingdom versus the Time Machine vehicle from Spaceship Earth at Epcot. What is the greatest ride vehicle in the history of the Walt Disney World Resort? Marcy, why don't you start us off?
Really hard. If I'm going on looks alone, I would definitely have to choose the Nautilus, but I can't. How can I vote for something I've never ridden? Every time we went there, it was down. It never, I mean, it was cool, but it never worked. I mean, so how can you vote for something that worked less than,
Remember,
I mean,
voting for
it
vehicles,
hardly ever worked.
not
It was
the ride.
I voted for the boat, what's the keel boat? I almost said the other thing. And I've never been on that.
Kink boat. Kink
The other thing.
Just say
it's
okay.
so hard. I have to vote for Spaceship Earth just because I never got to ride the Nautilus. I mean, it looks cool from the outside, but honestly, I don't think I would ride it anyway, just because I'd be claustrophobic. But yeah, I have to vote for something I'd actually ride.
Eric. Yeah! Although that is the sign from a different 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride.
Yes, but it's all I have, Tom.
So-
We will never live it down.
Can you draw the Nautilus?
No, but if you look behind me, I'll have to get out of the way. I do have a Nautilus on my map that I pinned to my map behind me. Hold on.
Aw.
I see it.
Our dinosaur should be about here. That's where I'm sending you today.
There you go. I do have a Nautilus here. We'll never live it down if Spaceship Earth wins this competition. It can't be allowed to happen.
Well, guess who's going to try to stop you? Jason Diffendahl.
Me. I'm gonna vote for Spaceship Earth twice.
Yeah, you get one vote.
All right, one vote for Spaceship Earth.
Allison?
Unfortunately, I feel like some of my favorite vehicles have already been voted out. But that being said, Nautilus, clearly the vehicle is superior to the Spaceship Earth vehicle.
Axel.
So, my dad always says, never go off of looks. Thank you for that advice. But that's the thing with the Nautilus. You go off of looks, but then the vehicle itself is claustrophobic. It doesn't give you a lot of space, the way to go in and out. But then Spaceship Earth is just easier. Doors open automatic. You just slide in. You go off, touch the screen, smile for the camera. No, the camera is not included. But you get your picture on that screen if it works. So I'm going to go for Spaceship Earth.
Why? Why are you all doing this to me?
Because Jason promised me $20.
Oh, what?
Yep.
When I said two votes, I kind of meant that I.
Can I offer you
thought
$40 to vote for the Nautilus? You can play this game. Nick, go ahead.
I don't like easy ride vehicles. I like my ride vehicles to make me work for my experience. So climbing into that Nautilus is just something you need to experience.
Are you feeling naughty?
Naughty
Naughty-less.
The naughty.
Oh my.
Naughties.
That's where you go in the
Not
maxi
naughty
van.
boats versus the king
Welcome
boats.
to the naughty bus.
Welcome to the kink boats.
The king
The
boat.
king
the
boats
naughty
versus
boat.
naughty boats. That's oh boy.
So I mean, there's just I don't get it.
Lawrence
I
joking.
don't get it. What the aesthetic appeal is over, and Spaceship Earth is like possibly my favorite attraction right now. You know, at Walt Disney World. I love it. Love it. It always has been my favorite. I don't get I never thought twice about the vehicle being a cool vehicle. Never. So Nautilus.
Spaceship Earth doesn't deserve to be in the finals.
No.
That's the bottom line.
No.
This would have been a fantastic matchup of the cockpit versus the Nautilus. The two most detailed, movie realistic, just amazing ride vehicles. I like the Spaceship Earth vehicle. It's brilliant in its simplicity, but it is up against Harper Goff's design, which again is the greatest vehicle design in the history of film. And then in 1971, not in 2019, in 1971, they were like, okay, we're going to build the submarine voyage again, but we're going to do a fleet of Nautiluses from the movie. And they were like, okay, well, we got to make a match. And they built this unbelievable top part of this submarine that's just beautiful. And I think about, like, especially like a foggy morning at Magic Kingdom, that the Nautilus coming through the fog, coming out of the waterfall, and like the memories that's instilled in people. It's been gone since 1994, but it has such a fan following in all the years since. Like at Trader Sam's, there is that art of the Nautilus coming out of the waterfall and going across the lagoon. They built it in other parks again because they felt so bad for losing it at Magic Kingdom. They're like, we need to bring this back in some way. In a lot of ways, the Nautilus not having a presence at Disney World is one of those things they've always regretted. I think it's one of the things they're like, yeah, probably should have found a way to keep one of the submarines on property at least and do something cool with it. But yeah, I mean, still to this day, merchandise gets made because people remember that Nautilus or just love the look of it. I'm going with the Nautilus. So that is 4 votes to 3, but obviously people can call in, put the number up, and we will give people a few moments here. I don't know how much time we're gonna see how the calls come in. I'm worried about Jason taking them correctly.
A little bit. Not gonna lie.
I'm not upset that the Nautilus wins. I think this is a fair outcome.
I think it's closer than it should be.
That it might have been closer with the Falcon, yeah.
I think like Spaceship Earth
But-
being in the top 8, I have no problem with. Spaceship Earth being here seems a bit much. The Viking ship being in
Well,
the top 4 is
ridiculous.
out
Yeah,
there.
right?
Yeah, like Rise. I like Rise, but Falcon should have went further than Rise. Like that's
yeah.
That is a
it's in
shame.
the wrong
Falcon
bracket.
isn't here. Play Spike the Bee. Someone said.
Yeah.
Do we have it? We just play that, and then we'll. But once Spike the Bee is over, that is the sign for us to come back and count the votes. We're gonna get ready for Spike the Bee.
Yeah.
We're giving
You
you.
know,
seconds.
the Splash Mountain log was a 2 seed and got knocked out in the first round. Is that?
I just thought nostalgia would be.
Yeah.
People would be like, "Oh, I love Splash Mountain. Got to fight for Splash." Yeah.
Yeah.
When I find myself at Flower and Garden, looking for some food to eat, I gotta get a spork with Spike the Bee. 58 pallets of unsold units standing right in front of me. Here for his 5th straight festival, Spike the Bee. Spike the Bee, Spike the Bee, Spike the Bee, Spike the Bee. Perfect for any food type, Spike the Bee. And while it's good for soup and chili, he's also perfect for poutine. and Tupelo honey spoon bread. Spike the bee. Plastic forks and spoons are wasteful, and they can't ever hope to be that versatile festival flatware. Spike the bee. Spike the bee. Spike the bee. Spike the bee. Yeah, spike the bee. For blood orange margaritas. Spike the bee.
How do you eat that with a spork?
Spike the bee. Spike the bee. Spike the bee. Yeah, spike the bee. Disney hopes you'll finally purchase Spike the bee.
Spike the bee.
Spike the bee.
Spike the bee.
Like,
I mean, I still prefer my harmonious. I like that it has a handle.
Perfect.
Jason, are the phone
Yes.
lines closed?
Phone lines are closed.
Play the music.
What are the results?
We got 3 calls for Spaceship Earth, giving it 21 points. We got 3 calls for Nautilus, giving it 26 points.
Yes!
Wow.
Put up the Nautilus!
Put up the Nautilus.
The Nautilus wins! It is the greatest ride vehicle in the history of the Walt Disney World Resort. Finally, something correctly won a tournament.
It's about time.
Well, we like Secret Swiss bobsled training facility, in fairness. Okay, if you're a WIGS member, stick around. We have a midnight tournament for you. Oh boy. And remember, kids, and depending how you and your vehicle hold up, we'll even throw a few surprise tests in. Good night.